Good evening and welcome to this session of the live virtual coaching classes organized by the Board of Studies of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Wishing you all a very good evening and continuing with our discussions from yesterday. We saw the duties of directors, maximum and minimum number of directors and directorships. Then we saw certain types of directors like independent director, woman director, etc. And I hope I'm in the right place because I don't see any of the regular people. Yes, at last we have Viraj Desai coming in with a good evening. Okay, as they come, let them come. Moving on, we went to independent director, which was pretty lengthy section. Then we saw the qualifications of an independent director, pretty steep. And we traversed through 149.6. And I think we came to the end of that and we stopped there. Okay. So, going on. Yeah. So many of you are coming in a little late. So don't mistake me if I don't acknowledge you now. Keep raising your queries as and when you have them. But let me assure you that from now till the end of independent director, it's going to be mostly theoretical, purely theoretical. I will not spend too much of your valuable time explaining it unless you specifically need some clarification. Now, what you should understand is Rule 5 of the appointment of directors rules, qualification and appointment of directors rules has been prescribed by the central government, okay, by which they have given many important things. We'll see what they are. Before that, Section 149 also says that every independent director shall give a declaration that he meets the criteria of independence as provided in Section 149.6. So, it is the duty of the director to ensure that he is meeting the criteria, not for the company to keep verifying. So, he has to ensure that he is meeting the criteria and give a declaration at the first meeting of the board in which he participates as a director. So, he is appointed for the first time in that company. Then at that first meeting of the board, he has to disclose or rather give a declaration that I'm like this. Thereafter, every financial year at the first board meeting, when he attends, he should attend, okay, and give his declaration. See, please note, they are insisting that the declaration should be given at the board meeting, at the first meeting of the board. So it cannot be done by mail or by any other method. He has to come in person, attend and give the declaration, and it should be minuted taken on record by the company secretary. That seems to be the intention of the section. In case there is any change in the circumstances in between, see, I became an independent director, gave the certificate, declaration. Subsequently, changes happened by which my independence could be affected. Then it should be disclosed by the director by giving a fresh declaration, possibly including resignation, etc. Because he shouldn't continue when he knows that his independence is affected, right? There are some codes for independent directors in Schedule 4, which you need not know. It's not important for your exam. That code has to be abided by the company as well as the independent director. This partial immunity is a very, very powerful thing. See, whenever there is an offense committed by the company, unless the directors have entrusted it to a person having suitable qualification, all the directors are officers in default. All are punishable. So, every director is punishable. So, you will notice in every section, the company and every officer in default. Officer in default includes directors, whole-time, part-time, everybody is included in that. Okay. So, they will be punishable. Not only under this law, under many laws, you will find wherever the offender is a company. See, under the pollution control law, under the labor law, you will find In fact, if you studied economic legislations, which I'm sure you need not, because even company law is becoming redundant for you, how economic laws will be relevant at all. So if you study some of the economic laws, there you'll find one separate section will be there, which is offenses by companies. Offenses by companies under that law. So there they will say, in case the offense is committed by a company, then the company and every officer in default shall be punished. Officer in default definition will be linked to Companies Act. Okay, why I make this elaborate point? All directors are liable, but independent directors enjoy partial immunity. Okay, I'm sure in a post-pandemic world, everybody understands the meaning of the word immunity. Immunity is protection. Immunity is essentially protection, usually in the context of a physical contamination. Means like a virus or something like that, you are immune to it. You become immune to it. The word immune leads to the noun immunity. Okay, immune. He is immune. Okay, leads to the word immunity. He has immunity. Therefore, he is protected. Why they are protecting? Because after all, the independent director does not get any remuneration, any income other than his remuneration as a director. He has no axe to grind. He is not an owner. He has nothing there. So they say, come on, if you show that you've acted honestly and you have done it, then you are free. So notwithstanding anything contained in this act, an independent director, first of all, that one category is separated, independent director, and a non-executive director, non-executive, meaning what? Non-whole time director, not being promoter or KMP, key managerial personnel. Key managerial personnel includes managing director, manager, company secretary, CFO, and every other person entrusted with the responsibility of compliance. This is the definition taught to you in the intermediate. So even though he may be non-executive, he should not be a KMP or a promoter. See, a promoter may come into the board, but not as an executive director. Whole time. See, whenever I use the word, okay, from now, just concentrate. Whenever I use the word executive director, it is equal to the same word. The meaning is whole time director. So executive director, whole time director, one and the same. Sorry, I'm very sorry about this. I'm so sorry about this. I'm so sorry about this. I will put it in silent mode. Okay, so, yeah, sorry. I forgot to put it in silent. Yes, now. So, I'm so sorry. I apologize. So, an independent director is immune. Whenever I use the word non-executive, the word executive has the meaning as whole time, non-whole time. That's all. If you're having confusion, both synonymous. The word non-executive director is used here in the act, whereas the word whole time, non-whole time. But you will be very surprised. The same fellows, when they come to managerial remuneration, these MCA walas, they will use whole time and non-whole time and all. Funny creatures. They will mix and match. They won't use a single word. So literally, non-executive means whole time. I mean part-time, non-whole time, part-time, non-executive, all same. Executive, whole time, all same. Okay, meaning whole-time directors, executive directors are involved in the day-to-day management of the affairs of the company. Non-executive directors will not come. They will come only for board meeting. So this partial immunity is given to both independent director as well as a non-executive director who is not a promoter or KMP. Okay, so such people shall be held liable only in respect of such acts of omission or commission by a company which had occurred with his knowledge, attributable through board processes, and with his consent or connivance, or where he had not acted diligently. Means, if it has a deep, for example, Satyam, non-executive directors will not, see, believe me, Satyam is under the old law. So my example, take it with a pinch of salt. Satyam is under the old law. Under the old law, this was not there. But suppose Satyam had happened under the current law, then independent directors and non-executive directors can escape free. Because except Ramalinga Raju, nobody knows. Even auditors do not know. Except Ramalinga Raju, nobody knows. Even auditors do not know. Correct? So that being the case, even when auditors could not find out, when shamelessly the multinational firm comes out and says, we were not aware, okay, we verified the debtors, by verifying subsequent payments, we did not take confirmation from the debtor. When a multinational firm can say this, they will not take confirmation from the debtor. They will simply verify subsequent payments and be satisfied with that. Okay. Now, if when such a firm can make this type of a comment, an independent director definitely may not know what it is. So long as he is not aware of it, no knowledge, or means sitting in the boardroom, what he can know, only he will know now. So whatever he could have come to know through the board, if it was not possible to find out, and suppose in the board meeting they have discussed, we will cheat the excise department, we won't pay excise. Fellow was there sitting in the boardroom. He said, yes, go ahead and do it. Then his consent has been given, sorry, no. Or connivance is a very beautiful word in English. In case you don't understand the word, I will explain it. Connivance is you do not consent, but when something wrong is happening, you keep quiet. That is called connivance. Means a responsible person, you should have objected. Instead, what you do, like Dhritarashtra, you sit quiet. You don't talk. That's it. See, if you remember the great scene in Mahabharata, when Draupadi was being insulted by Dushadhan, all the elders were sitting quiet. Did they consent to that adharma? No. But it was happening with their connivance. That is why they are also party to that adharma. You see, they should have spoken. They should have objected. Only two people spoke. Vidur spoke and Vikarna spoke. Only these two gentlemen stood up and said, hey, you are wrong. What you are doing is wrong. Other than these two people on the Kaurava side, nobody else spoke. Okay? So the rest of them were guilty of connivance, of keeping quiet when something wrong is going on in front of their eyes. Then he will not be liable. Okay, so independent director and non-executive director who is not a promoter shall be liable only for those. So where he is able to show this, he will not be liable. It's a very powerful immunity available to both independent director and non-executive director. Okay. Janvi is asking a good question. In case of fraud in the company, it is the responsibility of non-executive director to prove that he has no. Absolutely. If you want to enjoy the immunity, see, the prosecution will launch against all the directors. You are an independent director. Just because you're an independent director, you cannot say I'm immune. You should show that it happened without your knowledge. You have to. But that can be easily proved because, see, the board meetings are all transparent. Board meetings are transparent. Minutes of board meeting are evidence. So if in that it has been tabled, you cannot say I'm not aware. Suppose it has not been tabled, you are not aware what to do. Suppose the company has cheated on income tax. But then in a very, very professional managed company, this would definitely come to the audit committee. And the audit committee report will come to the board. So if you are not on the audit committee also, if you are sitting in the board, you will know about it. So you have to show that you are not aware. No problem. Suppose you are coming to know about it, you can record your objection to it. You have to understand, at the board meeting, you see the company is not paying the taxes on time. Some nonsense, come non-compliance. Immediately you say, I strongly object to this and I hereby instruct you to pay. That is the role of an independent director or even a non-executive director. So record it, get it recorded. Then what happens? Your knowledge is there, but consent is not there. Both have to be there. Now, knowledge is there, but consent is not. So when consent is not there also, you are protected. Okay. You may come to know about it and then you may object to it. But suppose it is something criminal that's happening, then mere lack of consent is not enough. That will amount to connivance. Merely saying I'm objecting strongly and all enough. You should resign and come out of your position. After that, you cannot continue in the board. That would amount to connivance. Okay. Subject to the provisions of section 152, an independent director shall hold 152, we'll see it later about rotation. Independent director shall hold office for a term of up to 5 consecutive years, but shall be eligible for reappointment by passing a special resolution and disclosure of such appointment in the board's report. See, so minimum first period of 5 years, normal ordinary resolution. Second period, 5 years, he wants to hold. Then second term, then special resolution. See, I told you now, all directors, ultimately their appointment will be by the members. No, and 95% of the time ordinary. But in some cases, special. This is one of the cases where special resolution is needed, where you are appointing independent director for the second term, then you have to pass a special resolution, right? And disclose it in the board's report that it is being done for the second time. Certain such a special resolution was passed. Notwithstanding anything contained in the above subsection 10, no independent director shall hold office for more than 2 consecutive terms. So maximum 5 into 2, 10. 10 years you can be independent director. But usually many listed companies will change independent director within say 3 years, they will change. Maximum 5 years. Next appointment they won't give. They will have somebody because the panel is there. They can keep on choosing. Otherwise, see, even after 5 years, there is a view that fellow will become, sort of familiar. See, why auditors were having rotation? Familiarity threat. You are all experts in auditing. I don't have to teach you. Familiarity threat. So when I'm an auditor I am an auditor for companies for 40 years, 30 years. My firm is auditing for 45 years. I have audited myself for 30 years certain companies. They are not rotation audit companies. They are non-rotational cases. Where is the familiarity threat? In fact, knowledge advantage is there. I know in and out. And I can command them and say, hey, do like this, be compliant, and they will do it. They will obey me. And I will see to it that they are compliant. See, that role also we chartered accountants are playing. But the MCA always thinks that we are fraud, that we are compliant, we are connivers and abettors to fraud. That is their view. That is the problem. We need not be. Satyam was one aberration by one firm. And that too, now they quietly say that they did not know. They were not aware. Shame. Okay. See, if they say they are aware, they are fraud. If they say they are not aware, shame. Okay. Either way, it is not a good thing to happen. That is one aberration. But it so happens that firm I worked, but that was long ago. In 1989, 1991, I worked that firm. At that time, it was a different firm. It was a glorious firm where auditing, that was the standard of auditing. That was how it was done. Okay. Anyway, so just like auditor, independent director also has a cooling period. So once the 2 consecutive terms or 1 term is over, then he can be reappointed only after the expiration of 3 years of ceasing to become an independent director. Friends, all of this in that company, he can be independent in other companies. Okay. He can be an independent director in other companies, but not in this company for 3 years. Then after 3 years cooling period, again another 5, 10. Okay. Provided that an independent director shall not, during the said 3 years, be appointed or be associated with the company in any other capacity, either directly or indirectly. So for 3 years, he cannot be associated with the company in any other capacity, either directly or indirectly. Even consulting, auditing, nothing. 3 years you cannot do. So that is why becoming an independent director is more of a honorary position. You can't get any financial advantage. Okay, except the sitting fees, but it's a name. I'm in so-and-so company, independent director, like that. That's all. Usually this will be preferred. We'll be seeing also mostly retired people, retired civil servants, retired bankers, businessmen who are retired, who have nothing. I'm sorry, at home they are a little free, so they can come and do things like this. Or chartered accountants and company secretaries who are otherwise, they have got a good practice. Simply for honorary sake, they go and they will be there. Like that. The provisions of subsection 6 and 7 of section 152 in respect of retirement of directors by rotation shall not be applicable to appointment of independent directors. I told you now, in fact, there is another confusion. So subject to the provisions of section 152. Now here they are saying 6 and 7 will not apply. Basically, when we come to section 152, I will teach you about retirement of directors by rotation. At that time, we will say, so 2/3 of the total strength shall be liable. For calculating the 2/3, now you have to see total strength, right? You won't include independent director in the total strength itself. For calculating the number of directors retired by rotation under 152(6), we will have to find out total strength. For that total strength purpose itself, we will not take independent director because 152(6) and 7 shall not be applicable at all. So it will be wrong to include them and to calculate 2/3. You should remove them. Same case with IDBI also. Suppose IDBI, the financial institution, has a nominee on the board of a company under the IDBI Act. You see, IDBI was formed by an act of parliament. Under that act, okay, a director nominated by IDBI shall not be liable to retire by rotation. That provision will not apply. So that fellow also should be removed from the total strength itself for calculating the liability. This may sound a little confusing to you. Don't worry. Section 152, when I teach, I will again reiterate this point. Okay. Suffice it to say, for the time being, there is something called retirement of directors by rotation, black box. That provision will not apply to independent director. That much you know. When we come to retirement of directors by rotation, you will understand. This is what you meant. Yeah, that is what I meant. Okay. Chalo. Now, independent directors are entitled to, see, we saw that now, they can't get anything from the company, we said, but they are entitled to remuneration. We already saw this. When we saw the exception, we saw this. They cannot have any pecuniary transaction other than by way of director. So they are entitled to remuneration qua. Qua, Q-U-A, qua is a Latin term, which means as, as. So they are entitled to remuneration as director. Also, reimbursement of expenses for participation in the board and profit-related commission as may be approved by the members. Later, when we come to section 198, you will see, 197, actually. 198 is calculation of profit. 197.5, we will see profit-related commission. For non-executive directors, 1% of the total profit can be distributed to the non-executive directors. Totally, all of them together, 1%. In that 1%, this fellow can also go and take. This fellow can also go and take his small share and enjoy. That is not denied him. Sitting fees allowed. Reimbursement expense allowed. Other than that, nothing. And very clearly, 149.9 says he is not entitled to any stock option. Meaning, you can't give him ESOP or any other type of share option. No, nothing. Okay? See, this is all, as I told you, fairly simple. Nothing great. If a company, see, later on, see, boss, I will be talking about all this when we come to managerial remuneration. Appointment of managerial personnel and remuneration. There I will again take up 197.5, Schedule 5, etc. Just they are mentioning, if company has no profits or profits are inadequate, there is a Schedule 5. Under Schedule 5, he can get payment. Non-executive directors can be paid remuneration even in a year of loss. Are you able to understand? In that case also, our independent director also entitled to receive such payment. So, if a company has no profits or its profits are inadequate, an independent director may receive remuneration exclusive of any fees payable under section, that is sitting fees, exclusive of sitting fees in accordance with the provisions of Schedule 5. So, where there is a profit, you can pay him profit-related commission. Where there is no profit or inadequate profit, there is a table under Schedule 5. Based on that table, you can pay this man also. That is all. Okay? Yeah, good evening, Namrata ji. A lot of people are here. Let me quickly. Viraj is here. Pooja, Kaushiki, welcome, madam. Sriram, hello, sir. How are you? Sudhir ji, welcome. Janvi, of course, I'll ask a question. And Namrata. I don't know if others are there, they can put in a word. Idea is, when I see those names, I feel happy. Otherwise, I feel as if I'm talking to a whole void of nobody is there like that. Not like that. I imagine a whole class of 200 people and I talk. That's not a problem. I don't know if you read Alice in Wonderland. See, one of the Red Queen says, you can get up in the morning and imagine 6 impossible things to do. 6 impossible things to do. So it's a famous song also in the movie, Alice in Wonderland. Beautiful movie. Okay. So 6 impossible things to do before breakfast. And so this is one of those impossible things. Imagine an audience of 200 people and talk. Okay. Yeah, I'm okay, sir. Viditji, perfectly all right. Okay. By the grace of God, I should say. Okay, chalo. Exemption. Provisions relating to appointment of independent directors, etc. shall not apply to not-for-profit company, Section 8 company, provided such company has not defaulted in filing, same old thing, financial statement, annual return, etc. under 137.92. Okay. Now we are going to go into one of the most, shall we say, theoretical part of this point. I'm going to quickly run through it. An independent director may be selected from a data bank. Now, question is, how will they know who is to be appointed as independent director? So they are saying there will be an institute or an official body. That body will maintain the data bank. So any company which wants to appoint independent director should select it only from that data bank. Though the word may be selected is used, believe me, it is shall. Why? Because if a person wants to become an independent director, his name should be in the data bank. So reverse way they are going. They are saying, they are not telling the company you choose from the data bank. They are saying you want to appoint any donkey, ensure that the donkey's name is in the data bank. Otherwise, you cannot appoint. Reverse. Okay. Because you will see that if a person wants to become appointed as an independent director, his name shall be included in the data bank. So basically, the data bank is very important. It shall be maintained by any body or institute, etc. We'll see that there's an institute of independent directors, and that data bank will be put on the website. So anybody who wants to appoint an independent director can go there. It's like LinkedIn. His biodata will be there. They'll see, okay, if he suits the profile they are looking at. Because after all, independent directors can be a great asset. If they possess knowledge and experience, they can see, in a way, intelligent MDs, pump independent directors and non-executive directors for free advice. Especially when they get a CA like me on the board, they keep on pumping us because they know we'll talk. See, if in the right way they ask, we will give some free advice. There is a limit. To one limit, I will say, hey, take it. Otherwise, I'll tell, boss, this is a broad outline. You go to your auditor, the guy who is advising you now, and you take it from him. Okay, this is what you have to do broadly, I will tell. The detailing, you go to him like that. Hey, just use donkey and all in a casual way. Don't take it seriously. Okay, just see, sometimes while talking, I use words like that. If you feel bad about it, I will not use. Okay, sorry. Sometimes I use example like donkey, monkey. What is that? Just to add some fun to the class. That's all. Okay, and think about it. Donkeys are very good animals. Okay, they are excellent animals. They are very useful. They perform an important role in life. Okay, no problem. If you are feeling very strong about it, I will not use that word. Okay. So since you are having, in fact, I do totally agree with you. See, there is a joke that my guru used to say. He said, sir, one man told the other guy, you are a donkey. So I immediately said, sir, you have to apologize. Immediately the guy who said, yes, sir, I totally apologize to the donkey. So okay, so this was something like that. And Ms. Mukta, don't be so serious in life, loosen up a little, okay? Be a little more casual. Because when you become a chartered accountant, you will become more serious. As a student, if you are so serious, I can't imagine how you will be when you become a full-fledged member. We can't even talk to Mukta Sadanand Jodaglekar. Madam, yes, madam, please, madam, like that, I have to come and talk to you. Wow, be relaxed, come on. Enjoy life. Life is short. Even your life, if you have another 100 years also, still enjoy it. Once in a while, take a joke. Okay? Enjoy a joke once in a while. But I'll be careful. Since Muktaji is sitting and censoring my words, I'll be very, very careful from now on as to what type of word I will be using in my class. Don't worry. Okay. Thank you. Anyway, the laughing sign is good. I like it. But sometimes while giving examples, I will use donkey and monkey. There, I am merely mentioning the names of two animals as examples. No connection with their behavior and any human being. Okay? Clearly. Okay, so if such connections are made by you, that is your fault, not mine. Because sometimes I give Mr. Donkey and Mr. Monkey two directors. That is my approach. So there they are, see, instead of saying Mr. Silver and Mr. Gold, I'm saying Mr. Donkey and Mr. Monkey. If you connect the behavior of those animals with any human being, that is your mistake, not mine. Chalo. Now, so it shall be maintained by the institute, and the responsibility of exercising due diligence before selecting a person from the data bank as an independent director shall lie with the company making such appointment. So you verify whether this guy is there. You put it up there, that's all. Whatever he says in his biodata, you verify, and then you appoint him. Okay, now quickly we will see. every individual, see now you see, every individual who has been appointed as an independent director in a company on the date of commencement of the Companies Act shall within a period of 13 months from such a commencement or who, so if think like this, in the earlier law also, they had a provision for independent directors. In the earlier law also, they had a provision for independent directors, right? Now, such people would not have gone through the data bank, right? There was no data bank in the old law. So what they are telling, once the law commences, the Fifth Amendment rule has become law. Within a period of 13 months from that commencement, you will notice, see, if you go through the rule, which I humbly suggest you don't, you will find that originally, as the rules were passed, it was 3 months. Then it became 7 months. Then it became 10 months. Now it is 13 months. Kyun? Because of pandemic. So 19, if you remember, okay, was sort of, nobody knew about pandemic type, so 3 months. Then once pandemic actually started, they made it 10 months. But then still people wanted time, they made it 13 months. So now it is 13 months. By now it's over, yeah. If that person has not, see, I use the word person. Okay, I didn't use any other word. So if that person has not, updated himself or herself, sorry, they cannot be acting as an independent director, right? They cannot give the declaration that they are eligible, they are independent. Also, any person who intends to get appointed as an independent director in a company after such commencement shall, before such appointment, meaning what? You want to appoint Mr. X. Now you go to him, X, we want to appoint as independent director. Okay, now you can't immediately appoint him. You have to ask him, is your name in the data bank? Oh, data bank. Okay, data bank for a period of 1 year or 5 years or lifetime. So, of course, if you want lifetime, the fees is 25,000 or something. You pay that lifetime. Okay, not lifetime of the ministry, lifetime of the individual. Okay. Sometimes some companies, the salespeople, they'll come and they will say, sir, warranty is lifetime warranty, like that they will say. I say, my dear friend, lifetime warranty for my lifetime or your product lifetime or your company ka lifetime, because sometimes your company's lifetime may be less than the product's lifetime. Forget my lifetime. Okay. So whatever it is for his lifetime or for 5 years or 1 year, he can pay, and he should ensure that he is updated till he continues to hold the office. Suppose he's paid for 1 year, then second year has to renew it. That's why they give 5 years, or if you want, you put lifetime and finish it so that nobody can think. See, you will see a lot of funny things happening with this lifetime. Any individual, including an individual not having DIN, may voluntarily apply to the institute for inclusion of his name in the data bank. Because all you need to do is log into the MCA site and go ahead and do it. So, now, every individual whose name has been so included in the data bank shall file an application for renewal for a further period of 1 year. I can understand that. Or 5 years, okay. Or for his lifetime. Renewal for another lifetime. Hello, how is it happening? See, now you're telling you don't use the word donkey and all, but what word I will use for the man who wrote this? You tell me. For the person who drafted this, you give me a name. What word I should use for that? For 1 year I can renew, 5 years I can renew. Lifetime. Was, I don't know. Okay. So kindly educate me. That is why sometimes, Buddha like me, after having seen so much in life, we are entitled to use words like donkey and all. Okay. Now, see, so one lifetime over, another lifetime. Wow. It's more like an avatar, I say. It's like a video game. Where one lifetime over, another lifetime I get. Only in video games, in virtual reality games, you will get lives. Not in real life. Only one life. Okay. Ek hi hai jaan. You have to have only one life. Jeet. Enjoy. While you are living, enjoy. Because once goes, nothing. Okay. So, okay, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, highly brilliant, highly intelligent people. We will not say anything wrong about them. So, for his, if one more lifetime he want to renew, he can renew. But that they will give, the fellow who wrote it understood what he's telling. He will give a rider later. Okay. Then, within a period of 30 days from the date of expiry of the period up to which the name of the individual was applied for inclusion in the data bank, failing which the name of such individual shall stand removed from the data bank of the institute. Okay. no application for renewal shall be filed by an individual who has paid lifetime fees for inclusion of his name in the data bank. Wow, how intelligent. Why include lifetime here at all? Yeah, only 1 year and 5 year wallas have to renew. The lifetime they could have simply kept it. There he'll include lifetime. Here he'll say no application. Wow, very, very brilliant people. Yeah, if I tell donkey, I'll be insulting donkey. Donkey will come and file suit against me. See, that he can do. You understand what I'm saying? But lifetime, how I will renew? See, renewal for a further period of 1 year or 5 years or for his lifetime. So, lifetime, how I will renew is the point. Again, no application for renewal. Why then this class? It should be obvious now. No application for renewal shall be filed by an individual who has paid lifetime fees. Why this at all? See, lifetime fees, if I have paid, why I will renew it? This, agreed. That's a very brilliant thought. John V. Agarwal is defending the ministry. Mara Bharat Mahan, I will not let my ministry down. Okay, she says, and she said, she gives a valid explanation for the first line. I tell you, between you and me, your problem is you have not read the 56th law. From 1992, I have been teaching the 56th law. I knew about, there were 700 sections in that law. 300 sections I knew by heart. So I'm not boasting. I loved that law. That was a beautiful law. It was logical. That this type of silly errors won't be there in that law. Okay. That is why, in comparison only, sometimes in fact, I stopped teaching this law, only because of our CA Institute, they wanted me to take up online and okay, I also felt, okay, let me come back to teaching. I came. 2012, I stopped teaching. Once this 13 law came, I saw it, I got disgusted and I stopped teaching. Okay. And of course, I had other things to do. I was in corporate training. My practice had really grown and I was getting into coaching. So I said, no. Then when this pandemic came and I was sitting at home online, chalo, then only I started teaching this law again. That is when in comparison only you'll know. If you look at this law as a standalone, your only knowledge, you will not know the elegance of the earlier law. Okay. That is where you will see the difference. In the drafting difference will come. Okay. No problem. Chalo, it's a good point. 1 year I apply, 5 years I apply, then for a lifetime. But if once I do for a lifetime, no need for renewal. Wow. So every independent director shall submit a declaration of compliance with empanelment to the board, means the board of this company. Each time he submits the declaration required. Okay. There is something called an online proficiency test. See, you include your name in the data bank. You don't have to pass the test to include. You include it. Okay. Then within 2 years, you have to pass a proficiency test. Earlier it was 1 year. So some of you might find 1 year, but currently it is 2 years. Okay. 2 years from the date of inclusion of his name, failing which his name shall stand removed from the data bank of the institute. Okay. So anybody can go and enroll now, but they have to clear the exam within proficiency test within 2 years from the date of inclusion. Okay. Institute is the Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs at Manesar in I think in Gurugram or near Gurugram. The pass mark is 50%. Oh, wow. In the aggregate. And there is no limit on the number of attempts. You can keep on writing continuously till you clear. So if in case the person's name has been removed from the data bank for not within 2 years, he is not cleared, he is given another 1 year. So he can apply for restoration. He has to pay 1,000 rupees. So the institute shall allow such restoration, but there they will say his name shall be shown in a separate restored category for 1 year. Within that 1 year, he has to pass that test. And then it will be. He passes the set on and his name will be again. Okay. Then he need not pay additional fee. His original fees will be continued to be valid for the period for which the same was initially paid. Meaning, if he paid it 3 years ago for 5 years, then he has to, another 2 years will be available to him. That's all. He can't say, now I cleared, from now 5 years now. So if in case by then 4 years is over, then he may have to renew again by paying the fees. Okay, Sudhir has attended me. If you have attended my physical classes, you will know my approach. See, that was a different Srikanth. When was that? 2001. Wow. That was a different Srikanth. Okay. Anyway, in fact, now I am Buddha. Okay. Anyway, nice to have you here, Sudhirji, and looking forward to hearing news that you are a member of our institute. All of you that you are a member of our institute. Okay. Manner of selection of independent directors and maintenance of data bank. In case he fails to pass the online proficiency self-assessment test within 1 year, his name shall be removed from the data bank and you shall be required to apply afresh. Again, go back, same cycle, come back. And go. Okay. Anyway, so this was the recent amendment. This Rule 5 of giving him time, restoration and all that was 22 ka inclusion. Okay. See, all this is pretty boring. I know what to do, but we have to cover it. Now, there is a certain category of people who need not write the online proficiency test. I don't want to waste your time reading this list. Please go through it. These are all very senior people. Director of a listed company or unlisted company having 10 crore capital, a body corporate listed on the recognized act. Don't waste your time. Even my suggestion, don't waste your time reading all this. Okay. Basically, these are people who have held important position for a total period of not less than 3 years on the date of inclusion. So minimum 3 years. Okay. For example, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, director, okay, of Ministry of Corporate Affairs or any Ministry of Finance, Commerce, etc., etc. Ministry, come on, this guy is director, yeah. Highest level. You can't ask him to write proficiency test. Again, CGM of above in SEBI, RBI, Insurance Regulatory Exchange Board. Are you able to understand? They're all big shots, right? And they will have, see, they would have drafted the law for all we know. Okay. So these guys, you cannot waste their time asking them to write. And for 3 years calculation, if he's been in 2 or more companies or bodies, it will be taken only once. See, earlier, these categories were not included. Now, they are included. Means from 21 onwards, they are included. Meaning, advocate, chartered accountant, cost accountant, company secretary, again, shall not be required to pass, provided they have been such for 10 years. So, you should have been post-qualification 10 years. Post-qualification as an advocate. See, advocate of a court. That means post becoming member of the bar, 10 years. And cost accountant, post-qualification. Company secretary, post-qualification, 10 years. Okay. Such people also shall not be required to pass the online proficiency. So once you become a member, wait for 10 years. Once 10 years over, you can go and upload your name for independent directorship. So one more advantage of membership to the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. No need to write the online proficiency self-assessment test. Okay. So Section 8 companies are also exempted from using the data bank and all that, right? So independent director at last over. Okay, so one of the, ideally I should have completed in the last class, but I couldn't do it. Let us hope I don't exceed time and all that. Anyway, so this is resident director, meaning there should be at least one director. Every company shall have at least one director who stays in India for a total period of not less than 180 days during the financial year. Need not be a citizen, but he should stay in India for 182 days. However, in case of a company, newly incorporated company, the above period will become proportionate. See, suppose he stayed only for 3 months, then 182 divided by 365 into 90. So that many days at least you should be there in India. Okay. Directors shall be individuals. This is a condition. Body, corporate, firm, association of person, etc. cannot be director. Okay. So moving on to types of directors, you have executive, non-executive. I already explained to you, right? Executive, non-executive. Executive also known as whole-time, special, inside. Non-executive also known as outside, professional, nominee, government, deemed. Small nuance differences are there. Okay. Inside director means promoter group. Outside means non-promoter group, other than promoter group. Special directors meaning like founder, etc. Whole-time director, I already told you. Opposite of whole-time is non-whole-time. Non-executive is also known as non-whole-time. Professional directors. In some cases, non-executive directors are consulting people, highly knowledgeable people who are taken on as directors for giving advice. See, they need not be independent. They will become independent director only if they satisfy 149(6). Otherwise, they are merely non-executive, knowledgeable people. Nominee directors, government directors, deemed directors, etc. Now, there is one bigger question. I'm not getting that from anybody. Usually, somebody will ask that question, which is, can an independent director, woman director, independent director can be same person? See, we saw every company should have one woman director, and also one third shall be independent director. Can it be the same person? Why not? It can be. Woman director, independent director can be the same person. You are satisfying both the criteria. Okay, so we are now moving on to appointment of directors. There are many ways of appointment. One is appointment of first directors. Then you have appointment by board. Then you have appointment by shareholders. Okay. Then appointment by small shareholders. Appointment by the tribunal. Obviously, when company is mismanaged. Then appointment by others. In the case like nominee directors by bank, etc. There is a special provision in the Companies Act now for nominee directors. Earlier, there was no provision in the Act for nominee directors. Appointment by board, there are three categories: additional, casual, and alternate. And appointment by shareholders, you have retirement by rotation and appointment of a person other than retiring director. Okay. This is a broad overview. Now moving in. We go to appointment of first directors. Company is incorporated. Whose responsibility to have directors? The promoters. The signatory to the memorandum should ensure that the company has directors. A company cannot be without directors, because there is no director, then who will you hold responsible for the acts of the company? Note it. Nowhere in the section member is liable. Nowhere. You check any section in the Act. Member cannot be made liable for any offense under the Companies Act. Okay, you go to the winding up. There you will see fraud has been committed. Then if directors are not there, then contributory. So they actually know. That will again be where they have been directors and they are doing it. The owner promoters are doing it. Other than as a director, you cannot punish. The shareholder is totally immune. You cannot go to him. The only liability or duty of a shareholder is pay his calls. If any money is unpaid, then at the time of winding up, the liquidator can demand that and take. That's all. Other than that, he is only entitled to take the proceeds. In case there is a surplus on winding up, shareholder can come stand and take. Dividend, he can come and take. Can attend general meetings. These are all rights. No liability. Okay. So every company should have directors. Ideally, the first directors should be named in the articles of the company. Ideal, and 99.9% it will be there, sir. Extraordinary case only the articles will not mention directors. Because, for example, if any chartered accountant or company secretary is incorporating the company, we will see to it that the first directors are mentioned there. Otherwise, in fact, the MCA itself will not permit it. When you upload it now, the document will be rejected, because the first thing they'll ask who are the first directors. If you say nothing and you don't, it is not optional. You have to give. So it is impossible for this, but by chance, provision is not made in the articles. The subscribers to the memorandum, who are individuals, shall be deemed to be the first directors, because it is their job to appoint the first directors. And if they are not appointed, then they shall be liable as directors. As a shareholder, they will never become liable. But these fellows have not mentioned directors. So we are turning the gun, waiting for directors, no director. Then the gun will turn to the signatory, subscribers memorandum. Because all they have to do is identify the directors, immediately the gun will go back. But if no director is there, then immediately my gun will come to the first. You are deemed to be the first directors. Not for giving him any award, for punishing him for any offense. Okay, who will be liable? The signatory themselves will become liable. That is why. In case of a one-person company, an individual being member shall be deemed to be its first director until the director or directors are appointed by the member. But ideally, my dear friends, when you incorporate companies in your own right, or you are engaged in the formation of companies, in those cases, kindly ensure that the articles of the company mention the first directors, right? See, I told you, I was with Pricewaterhouse, then I came out in 91, then I started my own practice. From 91, I've been on my own, not on my own, I had a firm, and we have a firm, and I'm a partner of that firm, and I've been in practice from 1991. From 1991, almost by around 2003 or 4, I had incorporated more than 2,000 companies. So actually, 1,800 was my last company, which I personally incorporated. Meaning, I actually went through the form and all that. Thereafter, the process was in place. My people know what to do. So 1,800 onwards, they started doing it. Then around 2000, we stopped. And we found that 2005, 6 and all, we started finding company secretaries have come. They are let them give it. So we simply outsource it to a company secretary. Incorporation of company, outsource it to a. So right from that, my 2000th company, or meaning 2010 or 20th company, I have ensured that everything will be calm. If once I send the documents, it will be approved, company will be incorporated and sent. Okay. So I humbly suggest that you should also do that. Ensure that your documentation is clean so that the company will be incorporated and given immediately. See, if I remember right, and I am subject to correction, I think it was Mr. Sriram who raised this question. All directors are to be appointed in general meeting. Absolutely correct. The general rule is that all directors are to be appointed by the members in general meeting. Okay. This is the rule. So every rule has exceptions. Now, these 3 exceptions are contained in 152. The Act has identified certain exceptional situations when the board may appoint directors. Even here, I will show you that at a certain point in time, the board's appointee will vacate. The person appointed to the board, and he cannot be reappointed by the board. He has to be only reappointed or reconsidered by the members. For a short time, when there is a temporary situation, in certain exceptional cases, board can appoint. But even that appointment is not permanent. That person's reappointment will be hanging. Only the members will reappoint. I'll show you that even these exceptions, ultimately, that it will circuit back to the members. One pakka example is nominee director. See, nominee directors, once nominated, have to be appointed by the members. Now, here again, see, I have a different view. See, bank or financial institution has given me a loan. I have entered into a contract with them, right? So when as per that contract, if I do not pay my loan on time, some EMI giving, they have the right to appoint a nominee director. But this is contractual. I can refuse to appoint. It will be a breach of contract, not a statutory breach. But suppose tribunal is appointing, then no problem, because they are appointing directly. These are all some exceptions where, other than shareholders, appointment is done. Are you able to understand? Appointment by tribunal and appointment by others. Other than that, even when the board is appointing, it is ultimately, it will come back to the shareholders. Okay, we'll see that. First case, 152, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, we'll see that, and then we'll go to appointment of directors by board. Okay. So no person shall be appointed as director of a company unless he has been allotted DIN under section 154, director identification number. So if you want to appoint a person as a director, he should have a DIN. Every person proposed to be appointed as a director by the company in general meeting or otherwise shall furnish his DIN or such other number as may be prescribed, because earlier there was another DIN. Then they changed it and now the new DIN is there. So DIN has to be furnished. Also, that a declaration that he is not disqualified. Later on, we'll be seeing disqualifications. Okay, we'll be seeing disqualifications in detail. Right now, all we are saying is, before being appointed, this gentleman or lady should say I am not disqualified. Every director shall inform to the company concerned about his disqualification under section 164(2). When I come to 164(2), I'll explain it in full. There is non-filing of annual return, financial statement, default in payment of dividend, etc. Directors will be disqualified. So if such a disqualification is there, then the director shall inform the company, inform DIR 8 before he is appointed or reappointed. Because he is already disqualified there. He cannot come here. Therefore, he has to inform. Because whether a company in which he is a director, I cannot go and find out whether that company has filed annual return, financial statement and all. And then say, yeah, you are disqualified. He has to tell me I am disqualified or not. Okay, that is all. Right? So we'll see 164(1) and 2 in detail. Don't worry. Either today or in the next class, definitely. Every person who has been appointed to hold the office of a director shall, on or before the appointment, furnish to the company a consent in writing to act as such in Form DIR 2. So, before appointing a person as a director, what you should do? Ask him, sir, do you have a DIN? Yes, I have. Please give me proof. Sir, are you disqualified under 164(1) or 2? Then show him one by one. Have you been convicted on any offense involving any offense and sentenced in respect thereof to imprisonment for a period of all that? You ask him. We'll be seeing that. Then 164(2). Then you say, sir, in spite of that, kindly give us a Form DIR 8. Also, give me a declaration that you are not disqualified. Also, kindly give your consent to write in Form DIR 2. All these are to be uploaded to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Okay. And the company shall, within 30 days of appointment of director, file such consent with the registrar in Form DIR 12. So along with the fee as provided in the company's registration. So we get his DIN number, we get the declaration, we get the DIR 8, keep it safely, we get the DIR 2. Along with the DIR 2, we file DIR 12, informing the ministry that so-and-so person has been appointed as director, right? This is DIR 12 is the duty of the company. DIR 12 within 30 days of appointment, duty of the company. If you don't file it, you have to pay huge additional fees. Okay? You have to be very, very careful. Yes, Mr. K. Prashant, Namaste ji. After this Mukta Sadanand Jaglekar's thing, I'm very much afraid to talk because I am a person who speaks very humorously and, like Tenali Raman or Birbal, when you are little humorous, you cannot be so formal. So sometimes we commit certain mistakes. So I'm a little worried and jittery. Anyway, still, you cannot take humor away from me, but I will try to be very careful about donkeys and monkeys. Very, very careful. I will not mention that ever. Okay. In case the person seeking appointment is a national of a country which has, this is another beautiful point. Recent amendment, 22 amendment. So, this is a little not political. There's nothing political about it. It's more of a defense-related issue. Certain countries, we feel are dangerous to us, which are sharing land border with us. And these countries, if anybody is there, they want to become a director of our country's company, in a company in our country. We want to know why. Because we are worried about terrorism. We are worried about, anti-nationalistic behavior. So we want to be careful. Therefore, we are saying in case the person seeking appointment is a national of a company which shares land border with India, necessary security clearance from the Ministry of Home Affairs shall also be attached along with the consent. In fact, the form has been amended now, by which suppose you are not sharing land border, you can clear it, not sharing. If you are sharing, then you have upload the necessary security clearance from Ministry of Home Affairs. Okay, so which are the countries sharing land border with India? General knowledge quiz. Just also to know whether you are all there or anybody is there, any human beings are listening, or whether robots have been asked to listen and record. No, I don't think so. All are here. Go on. Which are the countries sharing land border with India? Land border. Land border. Pak, China, okay. That's all. Pakistan, yes. China, yes. Major, you have named two of the major known suspects. There are some other fellows also. Go on, I'm waiting. There are some more people. Yeah, China, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Nepal. Pakistan, of course. Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, yes. Bangladesh, Bhutan. Anybody from West Bengal will know what I'm talking about. West Bengal, Assam will know what I'm talking about. See, I have traveled to Bangladesh. Okay, but of course, here I went to, what is that? Dhaka, and then from Dhaka I traveled to Chittagong. Then from Chittagong I went by road. By Chittagong I went by road to Tripura. I crossed the land border in Tripura. And then think about it. I entered Bangladesh from West Bengal, right? By air from Kolkata. So you travel from West Bengal, India, you enter Bangladesh. You keep on traveling, you won't come to some other country. You'll come back to India only, either Tripura or Assam. I think three states of the Seven Sisters, three of them share land border with Bangladesh, to my knowledge. Of course, West Bengal. And I think that side, Tripura, Assam, Tripura, maybe I think Arunachal Pradesh, I don't know. The corner somewhere maybe. Okay, man, that's a pretty hilly region, no? I'm sure those of you from Northeast will know. It's a nice place, beautiful area. In fact, I have traveled to Nagaland, Manipur, of course, Meghalaya, Assam, Tripura, because, I passed through Tripura. I just crossed the border, went to Tripura airport, took the flight, went to Guwahati. Straight away, I went to Guwahati. Then that was Brahmaputra Sangam, where I took a bath in Brahmaputra and I came back. Okay, so I am telling, Afghanistan is a doubt, yeah. Every time Afghanistan comes up, maybe there's a small stretch there. I don't know, because Afghanistan travels the land border with Pakistan. So how it will travel again with India, I'm not aware. Maybe in the northwest, somewhere in the northwest, above Pakistan, it has to come. Okay, I don't know. Maybe it is. Because Myanmar also, yeah, maybe yes. But definitely Myanmar. 100% Myanmar. From Nagaland, when I went to Nagaland, I went to Mukukcham. See, from Kohima, I traveled all the way deep into the interior Nagaland. I went to a place called Waka district. Beyond that, I went to Mukukcham. From that Mukukcham, if you keep walking 20-30 kilometers, you'll reach Burma, which is currently called Myanmar. Beautiful. So all of you are very much up to date. Sudhir is up to date in his geography. Very good. Fantastic. Beautiful. Thank you. So this is a new law. 152(5) regarding furnishing to consent as director shall not apply to government company, Section 8 company, provided those two fellows have filed their 137, 192, etc., etc. Okay, so this is beautiful. We have completed appointment of directors. We have completed basic provisions on appointment of directors. Now we come to appointment of directors by board. Section 161. Okay. I would not say that this is not important. This is important from exam point of view. So concentrate. If you have a doubt, you ask me, I will answer. First, so we said there are three categories of directors appointed by board. Additional director, appointment of a director in a casual vacancy, and alternate director. So we have first category, additional director. So the articles of a company may confer on its board of directors the power to appoint any person as an additional director at any time. Okay, so the power to appoint additional director should be in the articles, right? If so, then additional director can be appointed by the board. The additional director shall hold office up to the date of the next AGM or the last date on which the AGM should have been held, whichever is earlier. So, please note, we want to appoint a person as additional director for some valid reasons. You appoint him now, he will be in the board. But how long he will hold office? Till the next AGM. At the next AGM, he has to be reappointed. By who? By the members. Now you understand? All directorial appointments ultimately have to be done only by the members. But then you might ask me why this provision is there. I'll tell you. See, your company needs funds very urgently. Okay, so there is a high net worth individual. He says, I will pump in 30 crores, but I need post of director. Now, we need that money very urgently, boss. Means urgently means urgently. I need it tomorrow, day after tomorrow, 15 days. Once you sit in corporate finance hot seats, now you will understand the type of urgency. So immediately what you say, chalo bhaiya, you come, you give me the 30 crore, transfer it, and immediately you give your bin and all that. Then we will upload you, make you a director. We'll hold a board meeting, appoint you as an additional director, and upload. So that he is satisfied. But while appointing him, we'll tell him, boss, your appointment shall be valid only till the next AGM. At the next AGM, we'll see to it that the members will appoint you. And members will jolly well appoint because otherwise your refund is 30 crore. So they will enter into a share purchase agreement, everything, by which very clearly you'll be entitled to directorship. But currently, for the short term, you appoint him as an additional director. I gave one example of money. Another example, intellectual property right, knowledge. So the man brings with him some intellectual property, which you want to acquire quickly and finish something and proceed. Now he says, I want to become director. So you appoint him as additional director. And then at the next AGM, you propose his name and get him reappointed. So this is a method to quickly appoint a director in these situations. That's all. Yeah. Now, suppose you propose a person as additional director, you appoint him, then at the next AGM, you propose his name, but he fails to get appointed as director in general meeting. Then again, he cannot be appointed as an additional director. See, I gave you two valid reasons why members may not refuse to reappoint. See, one person has given valuable IPR, other person has given funds. Such a person will definitely be reappointed. But suppose you are appointing MD's cousin as a chamcha, as a director, and for additional director. Then at the AGM, the investors are very clear, as well as the chamcha, they reject, and that appointment is defeated. Then that gentleman cannot again be appointed as a additional director. Okay. This condition obviously prevents backdoor entry of a candidate rejected by the members. Right. So as I told you, this provision is to enable board of directors to appoint a person in case of urgency, provided the article so provide. So provision in article, very important. The additional director has the same rights and liabilities as the other directors, the same powers and duties. So long as he is the director, he has all the powers. But at the AGM, the minute the AGM begins, additional director vacates. If he is reappointed by members, he will continue. Otherwise, bye-bye. Okay. Again, one more point of interest for those of you who may know. I'm sorry, if you don't know, then take it from me. Auditor will hold office till when? Anybody can put it in the query pad. Fill in the blanks. The auditor appointed with members shall hold office. Fill in the blanks. Shall hold office. Okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. Prashant, for that kind words. Okay. Because after that donkey thing, I'm very, very worried and afraid of talking also. Anyway, no problem. Because sometimes casually I'll tell donkey. It is not intended to hurt somebody. Even in my office, I'll say donkey only. Just as a matter of interest, I'll tell. That's my style. That's all. Okay, no offense intended to donkeys. Okay. Chalo, now come back to the point. Auditor shall hold office till the conclusion of the next annual general meeting or the sixth annual general meeting. 5 years. Okay. Whatever. Till the conclusion. Whereas director shall hold office till, not conclusion, till. So the minute the AGM opens, the minute the chairman knocks the gavel and says, I hereby declare the AGM open. The minute the meeting starts, all the directors who are liable to retire by rotation will automatically vacate. This additional fellow will automatically vacate. Everybody vacating, waiting with bated breath whether they will be reappointed or not. Because during the meeting, if they are not reappointed by, okay, Of course, there's automatic reappointment and all for some directors, but not for additional director. Later on, you'll see automatic reappointment provision, not available to additional director. That's why they are getting very clearly. See the last line. An additional director cannot be termed as retiring director. Only directors retiring by rotation are called retiring director. They have automatic reappointment provisions, deemed reappointment provisions, not additional director, not available. Okay, so all disqualifications, din, etc., 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 applies to additional director also. Good. So here is the practical problem. So these are all questions asked in the examination. I've just taken them out and given it to you. Or an additional director did not have a DIN at the time of appointment. See, this is possible only under the old law. New law, forget the law. The new MCA portal, you cannot upload DIR 12 unless the gentleman or lady has a DIN. So, but then, assuming that this gentleman did not have a DIN or did not have a DIN and he continues to be, it is an offense. Later on, you will be seeing provisions relating to DIN. It's an offense. Okay. M, who was appointed as additional director at the board meeting held on 31st December, continues to be in his office on the ground that the AGM for 20 was not held. That is 31/3/20 AGM. If you remember, 15 months between two AGMs, 6 months from the end of the financial year. So either way, 30th September. So 30th September, if you do not hold, 30th September or earlier, depending on 15 months. So if you do not hold, then on the day on which the AGM ought to have been held, our friend M will be vacating office. Even if he is MD, if he has been appointed for 5 years, still he will vacate at the AGM on the date on which the AGM ought to have been held. Think like this. He cannot become MD unless he becomes director. Are you able to understand? A person cannot become managing director unless he is already appointed as a director. Are you able to understand? Suppose he ceases to be a director, he automatically ceases to be a managing director, right? So Kaushiki says there is an earlier written last date AGM should be held is written, then what? Madam, I'm not very clear on what you are saying, madam. There is earlier written last date. See, that is what it says here. Additional director will hold office up to the date of the next AGM or the last date on which the AGM should have been held, whichever is earlier. See, if you remember your intermediate management and administration, the gap between two AGMs should not be more than 15 months. An AGM should be held in every year. With the first AGM is the only exception. After that, every subsequent AGM, there should be one AGM in every calendar year. In every calendar year, there is one AGM. Also, there's a gap between two AGMs should not be more than 15 months. And AGM should be held within 6 months from the end of the financial year in which, from the end of the financial year. So, if you triangulate these three conditions, you will get a date. That is the last date on which the AGM should have been held. So, either the date of actual holding or last date on which it should have been held, whichever is earlier, our man will vacate office. Even if you do not hold the AGM on the day on which it should have been held, he will vacate. If after that he is holding office, it is an offense. I hope I have communicated. Till AGM or last date of AGM to be held either. That's what I explained to you now, I hope. So you have to see what is as per the law, when the AGM should have been held. That is the last date on which AGM should have been held. Either the actual date of holding AGM or last date, whichever is earlier, he will hold office. On that day, he will vacate. If he continues to be an additional director after that date, it is an offense. Okay. Hope you are clear, Ms. Kaushiki, on that point. So, I hope I have explained it to you. Kindly confirm if you have understood. Yeah, thank you. The board of directors of a company may, if so authorized by its articles or by a resolution passed by the company in general meeting. So, for additional director, there should be a provision in the articles. Whereas for alternate director, it may be there in the articles. Or if such a provision is not there, then the company in general meeting can pass a resolution and appoint a person, in which case it will not be appointment by board. It will be appointment by general meeting only. But whatever it is, the person appointed is an alternate director. Okay. Appoint a person, not being a person holding any alternateship directorship for any other director in the company or holding directorship in the same company to act as director as alternate director for a director during his absence for a period of not less than 3 months from India. Friends, when we were doing maximum number of directorships, we said 20 includes alternate directorship. At that time, I told you, when I come to alternate directorship, I will tell you. Now I am telling you. Okay, 161 subsection 2. There is a director of the company. This lady or gentleman is going to be out of India, absent from India for a period of not less than 3 months. Okay, person goes out of India, right? Now, during his or her absence, there may be a board meeting which they may not attend. And if they don't attend all the meetings during a period of 12 months, they may vacate office. Later on, you'll see that. They may vacate office. That is why they say he can nominate a person to be his alternate and the board shall appoint, or the members will appoint that person as an alternate. So what is the job of an alternate director? To attend the meeting on behalf of the original director who is absent for a period of not less than 3 months. That's all. And of course, he can also discuss, the alternate director can also take up matters and all that. But he is a shadow director. The alternate director is a shadow. The original director is the reality. This is only the shadow. Very important for you to hold on to that thought. Alternate director is a shadow. Original is the reality. Okay? Right? So, that second sentence, not being a person holding any alternate directorship for any other director in the company or holding that in the company, as usual, little confusing for me. Maybe it's clear to you, but for me, it's very confusing. Therefore, I am understanding these 2 points from this sentence. First point, a person can be appointed as alternate director for only one director. So, not being a person holding any alternate directorship for any other director. So, you are now going to select a person, you ask him, are you already holding alternate directorship for any other director? No. Only then I can. No, I'm already holding for Mr. Y. Sorry, then he cannot be an alternate. A person can be alternate for only one director in a company. Also, a director cannot be appointed as alternate. See, earlier law, both was possible. Same person could be alternate for more than one, and the existing director himself could become alternate, which means when one person is attending, he will attend, and he will be alternate for 2 more people, 3 attendants. One fellow will come and sit. Okay, that is not possible now. So separately, there should be one alternate for each director who is not there. And director himself cannot be an alternate. An alternate should not be also a director of the company. Okay. I hope this is clear. No person shall be appointed as an alternate director for an independent director unless he is qualified to be appointed as an independent director. See, even for an independent director, you can appoint an alternate. But that alternate should be qualified to be appointed as an independent director. That you should go through 149.6 and see that this guy is also cleared in all ways, including empanelment, blah, blah, everything. Okay. Period of office. For additional director, what did we say? From the date of appointment till the next AGM. That's all. For alternate director, an alternate director shall not hold office for a period longer than that permissible to the original director in whose place he has been appointed. See, later on when we come to retirement of director by rotation, you will see 2/3 are liable and 1/3 of the 2/3 will retire in every AGM. That will be selected based on seniority. So once an alternate is appointed, his period of office should be counted from the period of his predecessor. Then, are you able to understand? So, I'm sorry, I'm confusing with casual vacancy. Here, alternate director shall not hold for a period longer than that permissible to the original director in whose place. Let us take an example. A was appointed. Okay. A is a director appointed. He is going to America. So, in his place, we have appointed B, alternate. Now, in the meantime, the AGM comes. And at the AGM, Mr. A, the original director, retires by rotation. He retires by rotation. Automatically, the alternate also will vacate because he cannot hold office for a period longer than that permissible. Now, it is quite possible that the original will be reappointed, but there is no automatic reappointment for the alternate director. Only for the original director, automatic reappointment will apply. Alternate will not be automatically reappointed. Okay. So, if the original director's period of appointment has come to an end, automatically alternate shall also lose. So, that's why I said alternate director is a shadow. Once the original is gone, the shadow automatically has to go. Similarly, when an alternate director shall vacate the office, if and when the original director returns to India, please note, that's why, in those days, I used to give a very, very powerful example because in the old section, it was not India, it was state. The state in which the board meetings are normally held like that, which was an old British thing. Because in British India, you had Madras Presidency, then you had princely states like that. So now it's not like that. India is a sovereign democratic republic, okay, from Jammu to Kanyakumari. So in that case, leaving India, okay. So earlier I used to give using an example from state, but now, for example, Mr. A is going to Canada, and so during his absence, we appoint somebody, but that fellow is a crook. He is acting against the interest of. Okay, so what happens immediately? His friend informs him. He takes a flight from Canada and he flies and he comes to India. The flight lands, taxiing towards the aerodrome. Flight lands, the wheel touches India. Immediately, at that time, the alternate director shall vacate. Now, this is very dramatic, and I'm sure all of you are getting irritated because you're all CA students, so you don't like to be dramatic. But the point is, you will ask me one valid question. Sir, how will the company know? That is up to this guy, yeah. The minute it lands, the air hostess will inform, you are now istemal karte hainge. You can use your mobile phones can be used now. Immediately he has to phone and he will say, yeah, Vannu, I have come. That's all. He has to call the MD and tell him, I have come. The minute he informs that I have landed in India, that's it. It is over. Okay. The alternate director will vacate office. This is the point. So, but again, information. The company cannot know. But even there, timing of landing is a recorded fact. Okay, in a court of law, all this will become issues. You might think all this is dramatized and funny. Srikanth, as usual, exaggerating, unnecessarily wasting time. He is not a proper chartered accountant, not serious like a chartered accountant like that. Absolutely correct. But in a court case, this will become very, very important. The time and date will become very, very important. Okay. So when he comes to India, returns to India, you have to be careful. Okay. If the term of office of the original director is determined before he so returns, that is at the AGM he vacates, automatically he is reappointed, then such automatic reappointment will apply to the original director and not to the alternate. Later on, when we come to automatic or deemed reappointment, I will mention it to you. Okay. Some practical problems on alternate director. Mr. Bharat was appointed, Bharat was appointed as alternate director for Mr. Ramchandra during his absence from India, not Ayodhya, from India, for a period of 6 months, not 14 years. During Mr. Ramchandra's absence, an AGM was held and Mr. Ramchandra retired and was in the absence of another appointment deemed to be reappointed. So under 152, he was reappointed. Fantastic. Now, Mr. Bharat claims he continues to be Mr. Ramchandra's alternate on the board. Is he correct? Second, let us see. Second point, Mr. Paul was appointed as an alternate to Mr. Peter during his visit to Italy. So Peter wanted to go to Italy for the Vatican. Well, Paul was appointed as an alternate, agreed. Mr. Peter left for the Vatican on 15th June 2020. Right, sir? He returned on 25th October 2020. But again, the dates are just pandemic opening dates. You can ask me, how did he travel and all? wearing a mask and other things. Okay, whatever it fly, then meeting, they start coming into the room. Flight is coming, 17 hours. Flight is coming, 15:30, landed. Okay, board meeting at 17 hours. Can Mr. Paul attend this meeting? Mr. Paul, not Peter. Paul, can he attend this meeting? Correct. Both the answers are given correctly by Kaushiki. One is no. Bharat's view is not correct because he retires at the same time as Mr. Ramachandra's retirement. Reappointment will apply only to Mr. Ramachandra, not to Mr. Bharat. Okay. Similarly, the minute Peter lands, Paul out. Paul cannot attend the meeting. Okay. Madam, don't write his period ended. His period is not ended. Okay. He vacates, like that you say. Okay. Period ended means not like that. Okay. He vacates. That's all. Chalo. So we have seen additional, we have seen alternate. Now we are going to see casual vacancy. Casual vacancy. That means, see, we appoint a person as a director, inshallah. But what happens? Something could happen. Now he may die, he may resign, he may become mad, he may become incapacitated. Anything can happen. He may vacate office. So if the office of any, or he may incur any of the disqualifications, we'll be seeing it. Once he incurs the disqualification, automatically he will vacate office. Okay. So if the office of any director appointed by the company in general meeting is vacated before his term of office expires in the normal course, the resulting casual vacancy may, in default of and subject to any regulations in the articles. If there is no provision in the articles, then section 161(4) will apply. If there is no provision in the articles, whatever we are now studying will automatically apply, even if there is no provision in the articles. If there is a provision in the articles, then this 161(4) will be subject to that articles. So the articles will be superior to 161(4). See, there are some cases where the articles can be superior. That Act itself says, where there is no provision in the articles, 161(4) will apply. Where there is a provision in the articles, provision will apply. Okay. So, if the office of any director appointed by the company in general meeting is vacated before his term of office expires in the normal course, the resulting casual vacancy may, in default of and subject to any regulations in the articles, be filled by the board of directors at a meeting of the board. So this is very, very important. Later on, see, sometimes, I will highlight certain words. You will have to remember it. You have to just remember it. This at a meeting of the board is very, very important. Because if it is not there, then if that word at a meeting of the board is not there, it means even without a board meeting, you can send a circular resolution which is approved by all the shareholder directors, it will be approved. That is called circular resolution. But wherever in this act now, in the section now, it says at a meeting of the board. It means you cannot do it by circular. The directors have to physically meet or through video conference and pass a resolution. Later on, when we come to meetings of board and powers, we will deal in detail about it. There again, we will say, what are the matters which can be done only by board at a meeting? You will find casual vacancy will again come there. Casual vacancy is one of the matters which cannot be done by circular. It can be done only by a physical meeting or video conference meeting at a meeting of the board. That at a meeting of the board is important. Right now, we will not waste your time about this, but remember, when I come to circular resolution, we will say certain matters can be done only at a meeting of the board. Then, in addition to that, the following, one of the matters is casual vacancy. Okay. So, casual vacancy can be filled by the company only by at a meeting of the board. The reason is, see, when there is a vacancy, you simply don't fill it. If you want to fill it, then the board should apply its mind and see who is going to be the appointee, whether it is of competence, all that you have to see. Okay. Such a casual vacancy appointment shall be subsequently approved by members in the immediate next general meeting. For this, you need not hold a general meeting, but when the next time you are holding a general meeting, it should be ratified. Subsequently approved with a ratification, because he has already been appointed. Suppose they do not approve it, then from that day, he will not be a director. He has to. So, till that day, whatever he did is valid. See, the validity of acts done by him become very important. We appoint him under 161(4), he holds office. Based on that, we pass resolutions where he is also included for calculating majority and all. So acts done by him till the AGM date are valid. But once it is not approved at the AGM, subsequently he will vacate and he cannot. Got it? Also remember, period of casual vacancy appointee is co-tenuous with that of his predecessor. That is, whatever is the period available to the predecessor will be available to him. For calculating retirement by rotation, later on when you come there, you will understand this. We will have to see who is the senior most in office. For calculating seniority, his seniority will be taken from his predecessor, not from the date of his appointment and in the casual vacancy, but from the original date of the appointment of the predecessor. Suppose the predecessor was appointed in 2019 and the casual vacancy guy was appointed in 22, then for calculating his period of office, seniority, we will go back to 19. So if his predecessor would have retired, automatically he will also retire. Any person so appointed shall hold office only up to the date of which the director in whose place is appointed would have held office if it had not been vacated. So for all calculations of retirement, etc., tenure, etc., you should not take this gentleman's tenure. You should take the tenure of his predecessor. Predecessor means the person in whose place he is appointed. Somebody vacated now. In that place he was appointed now. That gentleman date of appointment we should take. From that date only you have to calculate period and all. Okay? You are able to understand this? Any doubts? I don't see any queries in the query pad. So I shall presume that up to now it is clear. I'm sorry. Yeah. Maybe we'll just complete this topic and then I will give a small break. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Moving on. Once it's fairly simple. So the words any director appointed by the company in general meeting, I have highlighted it here in red. Any director appointed by the company in general meeting means only a vacancy in the office of a director who was originally appointed by shareholders can be filled by invoking 161(4). Suppose that gentleman was appointed by the board, then that vacancy cannot be filled by 161(4). Sorry, 161(4) not available to you. Only vacancy in the office of a director appointed by the company in general meeting. So here is a practical problem. Mr. X was appointed at the AGM held on 31/8/2019. Okay. He died suddenly on 31/12/2020. The board appointed Mr. Y in the casual vacancy created by his death. Whose death? X's death on 2/1/2020. Okay. Y also died on 31/1/2020. Hey, this seems to be a very mysterious appointment, yeah. Anybody who is appointed dies. Now the board of directors wants to appoint Mr. Z. I really congratulate Mr. Z for his courage because already X appointed died. Y appointed died. Now Z is saying I will be appointed. But our concern is not about his courage. It is about the law. Question. They want to appoint Z in the casual vacancy created with the death of Mr. Y under 161(4). Can they do so? So this is the question. The question is not an emotional question about advising Z, don't do this, you will die and all. No, no, no. Whether Z can be appointed under 161(4). That is the question. Any answers? Correct. Kaushiki gives the answer as usual. See, the point is, X was appointed by the members in general meeting. So in his place, Y was appointed. Y was appointed by the board under 161(4). So that vacancy cannot be filled under 161(4). That is the correct answer. Beautiful. Quickly, nominee directors. Subject to the articles of a company, the board may appoint any person as a director nominated by any institution in pursuance of the provisions of any law for the time being in force. I told you, IDBI law, LIC, they all have the right to appoint directors. The central government or the state government, suppose in a government company, the central government is holding or state government is holding, then they can nominate directors. So those nominees will be appointed by the board. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Kaushiki ji, for that. Yeah. Namrata is also correct. No. No. Now, before we go into this very interesting and important topic, I will give you a small break. We can't take too long a break. I will take the time as 7:35. We'll go on till 7:45. 10 minutes, okay, for a short biology break because it's 3-hour session. So I want to give you also some rest. And okay, quickly, don't go away. 7:45. Sir, break, sir. Welcome back from your well-deserved break. So moving on, appointment of a director by small shareholders. Now, you will ask a very, very important question and a right question too, which is, who is a small shareholder? First. So see the bottom of the screen. Here, 1 second. Here. Somebody, Sriram is asking a question. X died on, no, he says the question is confusing. Let's go back. X died on 31/12/2020. Y is appointed on 2/1/2020 due to the death of X on 31/12/2020. Y died on 31/1/2020. Correct. It means Y only died before X. I don't think so, no? Oh, yeah. Sorry. 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 It is not confusing. It is my mistake. Okay, it's my mistake. It is not confusing. We can deconfuse it for you. We can deconfuse. My mistake, sir. Thank you for correcting. So nice of you. No. Shriramji, you are absolutely correct. Thank you very much. I think now is it deconfused? That's all. Now it didn't. See, typo. Beauty is, I have been using it. This is the possibly third session, or I don't know, third session where I'm teaching directors, and I have not corrected it. And people have understood it without my having to change it. Okay, they have accepted the sequence. The chronology has been clear. See, the logic of the chronology they have understood. That is, X dies, Y is appointed, means after X's death only it can be. Then Y dies, then it can be only after his appointment. Now, he cannot die before he is appointed like that. And this 2/1 and 31/1, okay. This 31/12/2020. So I think now is this correct, Sriram? You are happy? Now I think it falls in place, right? 31/12 dies. This fellow is appointed on 2/1. Then Y dies on, he dies on 31/1. Okay, just confirm that I have deconfused the problem. And thank you for pointing it out. Much obliged to you. Much obliged. Which is why, I don't share this PowerPoint with people unless all this has been done. Okay. So, Sriram, thank you. Okay. Who is a small shareholder? Small shareholder means a shareholder holding shares of nominal value of not more than 20,000 rupees. Or such other sum as may be prescribed, not yet prescribed, it's still 20K. So, small shareholder means a shareholder holding shares of nominal value of not more than 20,000 rupees. So, don't think that small shareholder means somebody who is altitudinally challenged, that their height is low, not like that. They are normal people, but they are holding shares of nominal value not more than 20,000. Nominal value. Okay, please note. Right? Now, according to section 151 of the Act, a listed company may have one director elected by the small shareholders. This provision enables the small shareholders to place their representative on the board of directors of a listed company so that their voice is also heard. See, the small shareholders may be small, but in number they are large. But even if you put all the small shareholders together, if you take all the small shareholders together and you take all their shares, total it up, in the total voting power, they may not be more than maximum 20%. Maximum. That is rare, where these small shareholders together become more than 20 and all, impossible. Okay, very difficult. Okay, so 20. So the idea is they are small. In a way, they are minority. So their interest has to be protected. Therefore, think about it. Can these small shareholders ever elect a director? No. Because even if all of them vote, which is going to be very difficult, which itself is going to be very difficult. If all of them vote, still they are only a minority. The majority shareholders simply appoint their guys. So in order to give okay. Sriram is still asking the question. in exam means how can we answer? I have actually understood the question at the first instance itself. But these can, no, absolutely correct. I'm not saying you have not understood. Yeah, I thank you for giving me the correction. Otherwise, some student might mistake. These kind of mistakes happen on the exam question paper means, okay, let me at the outset assure you, Srikanth is a man of ordinary intelligence. He has drafted this question in typographical error in an inebriated state. Somehow I have said this. Believe me, our exam question paper will not be so casually done. It will be checked 3 times, 4 times before it comes to you. The chances are very rare for such a stupid mistake to happen in the exam question. Okay? Believe me when I say this. This was done by an ordinary individual called Srikanth. It's of lesser intelligence. But when the exam papers are actually set, they are set, even let us say it is set by an ordinary intelligence like me, it will be double checked by superior intelligences. And they will see to it that it is corrected. So there is a process which will ensure that this doesn't happen. Okay, in spite of that, some human error occurs once more. Such errors could be there. You write an assumption very clearly. You write your assumption. Means you understood it in the first inception. Okay, then you knew that it cannot be 20. It can be only 21. So what if I don't know about you. If I were writing that exam, what I will do, I will assume, I will write whatever you wrote. And then I will say, therefore, it is assumed that Y died on 2/1/21 and 31 and Y died on 31 and appointed on 2/1. Based on this, the answer is as follows. Believe me, in the exam, first of all, the rule will be, suppose such a blatant error is there, everybody who has attempted will get marks. Everybody who attempted will get marks. Yeah. If you write like this, Devam, your God, they will give you mark and go. So I have asked, now that you have asked this perspective, this poor idiot has answered from that perspective also. Okay? So are you happy? Good. Moving on. Come back to our small shareholder. Okay? Now, so these poor fellows need some representation, right? Chalo, we'll give them some representation. How? Because you have to give them a separate category, like reservation quota you have to give. Otherwise, they cannot electing. See, the majority will kill them. Therefore, the minority group should be given some, I use the word minority very carefully, in the sense that later on when you come to oppression and mismanagement, you will find there is oppression of the minority. That is a different, here, these small shareholders need a voice. That voice will be a director appointed by them exclusively for themselves. Okay? How to do that? Here is the procedure. Okay? First of all, the company need not appoint a director to represent small shareholders. That is not my problem. Okay? If the company has small shareholders, it is not the board of directors' problem to appoint any director to represent them. Sorry. Okay? In Tamil Nadu, we have a proverb which says, there is a chameleon on the fence. It is there. Don't take that chameleon and put it in your dhoti and then say that that chameleon is doing all nonsense there. Okay? Chameleon is sitting quietly in the fence. Don't take that chameleon and put it in your dhoti and then complain that the chameleon is doing this, that. Because who told you to take that chameleon and put it? Small shareholders are sitting quietly. They have not asked for any director. Oh, you go and appoint for them. Don't take the chameleon on the fence. You don't have to do it. But if that chameleon comes and says, I want to come into your dhoti, then you are bound to do it. For that, what is the procedure? Notice to be given by 1,000 small shareholders or 1/10 of the total number of small shareholders, whichever is lower. So, see, we are not talking about small companies here. We are talking about large listed companies. See, this provision will be relevant only for large listed companies who will have huge number of small shareholders. So they say out of that, at least 1,000 valas, suppose there are 2 lakh small shareholders. It's possible. There are large companies, Reliance, even Pidilite Industries, Dabur, they will be having huge number of small shareholders. So out of that, they say at least 1,000 of you come and ask, because hey, you guys are all holding what? 10 shares, 15 shares, that a maximum 100 shares. You guys want a small shareholder, at least 1,000 of you come and stand. I don't want 5 or 10 of you coming and wasting my time. Or, okay, suppose 1,000 is not possible, the number of the total number of shareholders itself is less. Then at least 1/10 of the total number of small shareholders, whichever is lower. Okay, 1,000 small shareholder or 1/10 of the total number of small shareholders, whichever is lower. So the law is actually helping them. Even if you cannot get 1,000, it is okay. Suppose there are 500 small shareholders, then at least 50 should come. Okay. The total number of small shareholders itself is 500, Baba, then 50. Are you able to understand what I'm saying? Okay. So, like that. Suppose the total number of shareholders is 2 lakhs. Then 1/10 will be what? 2 lakhs, 1/10, 2,000. No, 1,000 enough. Whichever is less or whichever is lower. So this group has to make an application, notice. They have to give to who? To the company, to the board. Then once the notice is given, that notice should be left with the name of the candidate, with the company, at least 14 days before the meeting. Obviously, it will be an AGM. Why? Because I am getting notice of AGM 21 days before. Now I know that. So all of us will be ready. Come on. Mr. A will become the, see, I want to tell donkey, but I'm not telling. Okay. I'm not telling donkey. Mr. A will become the candidate. Okay. So notice of, so you have to tell A, and at least 14 days before the meeting, you should leave that. Notice to be signed by proposers and should give information regarding the name, address, shares held, and folio number of the person whose name is being proposed for the post of director, and of the small shareholders who are proposing such person. So if there are 1,000, all the 1,000 are right. 50, all the 50. Their details are to be given. Okay. See, the small shareholder director need not be a small shareholder. Need not be a shareholder. The small shareholder director need not be a small shareholder. In that case, you need not give shareholding details. Because, see, for example, for your information again, I was the secretary of the Tamil Nadu Investor Association. I was the secretary of a body called Tamil Nadu Investor Association. I might have mentioned it to you, I do not know. Now, there, I used to meet activists. These are investors who are activists. A lot of great friends of mine. They are people who are highly knowledgeable of share market. They represent the small shareholder. They truly understand the market issues. And they want to serve the small shareholders. There are a lot of people. I don't want to name them for obvious reasons for public forum, but there are great people there who are truly knowledgeable and who truly work for the benefit of the small shareholder, for the investors. So such people, you may want one of them to represent you. He need not be a small shareholder. He need not be a shareholder also. He may not be. He need not be a small shareholder. He may not hold more. He may hold more than 20,000. But still, you can appoint him as a director to represent you. Okay. Then along with that notice, you should give a statement signed by the person that he has see, all that will apply to him also now. Then that he is not disqualified and his consent. Do you remember? The same thing that you need from a normal director, you should get from our friend also. Okay. All that you have to get from him. DIR 8, all that you have to get from him. Okay. DIN. Right. And you have to file DIR 12. Everything is the same. Such director shall be considered as an independent director. So, the procedure is notice from small shareholders 14 days before. Along with that, you should give. Then at a meeting of the small shareholders, this fellow will be appointed. That's all. The majority of the small shareholders agree, he will be appointed. That's all. The main shareholders have nothing to do with this appointment. Because the minute you push that in, he cannot be appointed. So the small shareholders have to approve him and appoint him at their meeting. Now, such director shall be considered as an independent director. Considered as an independent director. Therefore, he should meet the eligibility criteria pertaining to independent director under section 149(6). And he should give a declaration under 149(7) that he is independent. Since he is to be considered as an independent director, he will also not retire by rotation. Any provision for retirement, rotation, etc. will not apply to him. Okay. Also, he cannot be removed by the members. We'll come to that later. Okay. We'll come to that later. When you come to removal, we'll come to that. So, as you already saw, such director shall not be liable to retire by rotation. Such director's tenure shall not exceed 3 consecutive years. Straight away 3 years. Though he will not retire by rotation, he has a fixed term 3 years. He is not eligible for reappointment. Unlike independent director, 5 years, reappointment, no reappointment. Such person shall not suffer from any of the disqualifications prescribed under section 164. It means he should not have the provisions applied to him and he should not suffer from any of those disqualifications. Also, no person shall hold the position of small shareholders director in more than 2 companies at the same time. So minimum 2 companies. The second company in which he has been appointed shall not be in a business which is competing or is in conflict with the business of the first company. Suppose he is already independent director, okay, in, let us say, so XYZ Cement Limited. Then he cannot become a director in, small shareholder director in DEF Cement Limited. Because cement and cement are competing. So he cannot. The obviousness, he'll be sitting inside the boardroom, where all sorts of confidential data will be there. So this fellow should not act as a corporate espionage guy, okay, going from here to there. Therefore, they say, no, if you're there, you can't be in another competing guy. Maximum 2, not more than 2. Okay. A person will vacate, the small shareholders director will vacate office if he incurs any of the disqualifications of 164, which we will see. The office of the director becomes vacant. 167 gives the grounds for vacation. Suppose he incurs any of those grounds also, he will vacate. Director ceases to meet the criteria of independence because he'll be deemed to be an independent director, right? Therefore, he should maintain the independence also. Okay. So he cannot become a small shareholder director and take some contract from the company or some other benefit and keep it. No. His independence should be established. So like any other independent director, he has to give a declaration every year. At the first board meeting, he has to give a declaration every year. And if he gives a false declaration, violation. Okay. Cooling period. A small shareholders director shall not be appointed in or associated with such company in any other capacity for a period of 3 years from the date on which he ceases to hold office. So see, the idea is simple. He is a small shareholder director. He comes in. First meeting, he is very vigorous. He come, I am sorry, you can't do this. Satyam, I will be very careful, all that. First board meeting, we give him cash unit, we take him for a party, we give him single malt, and then we say, hey, come on, what is your problem? Yeah. So he says, okay, chalo, what to do? But he may do any number of things, but he cannot get any financial benefit from the company. Not for that year, for 3 years from the date on which he ceases to hold office. Okay. So the idea is to keep them, thing that since what we will say now, Baba, you are small shareholder director, you're going to be there for 3 years. Simply agree to what we are saying. Don't open your mouth. After the 3 years, what happens? We will make you consultant. Yeah. Simply you come and go every month, we'll give you 50,000. Sorry, it cannot be done. He cannot be associated with the company in any capacity, directly or indirectly. Means he may not be. His relative also cannot be appointed for a period of 3 years from the date on which he ceases to hold office. Okay, this is cooling period. Not exactly cooling period. This is a sort of a prohibition from being appointed. So let us see if you have any doubt on small shareholders. I don't think you. Okay, this is the basic provision. All directors, other than these 3 fellows, small shareholders, if in all other cases, nominee, in all other cases, it is the company which will appoint the director, right? So now we are going to start a topic which is a little, I'm not saying difficult, I'm saying it means concentration. So be concentrating. Okay, we will start. We are now going to talk about retirement of directors by rotation. Why is it there? Because, and this is applicable only to public companies, not to private companies. Idea is a public company may have public interest. Wider shareholding. Therefore, the same group of directors should not rotate and become. So the other shareholders or the other groups, etc., should be given a chance to propose their candidates and put them to vote and all. So cooling period, actually the wording is wrong. I don't know where that word cooling period came. Let me remove the word cooling period and rather put the word prohibition. Sir, you are appointed as a small shareholders director of a company. Now that you are representing the small shareholders, so your goal is to ensure that the management does not do any fraud or it does not do any siphoning and all. Now that is your role. But once you come into the board, we are going to do some siphoning. I'm giving a practical example. So listen to me like a story. Don't think that I'm telling don't get angry with me like, donkey and all that. There are people who do things like this. Yeah, there are people who do things like this. So Mr. A becomes a small shareholder director. So he is initially very honorable, etc. But first meeting he goes, they give him cashew nut, single malt whiskey. After the meeting is over, hey, come on, one small party for all of you. Come. During the party, they say, what are you wasting your time? Don't worry. For 3 years, you be there. You take sitting fees and all. 3 years later, you agree to what all we are doing. You keep your mouth shut. 3 years later, we will give you appointment as some consultant, etc. So that will be very attractive to the small shareholder director. Nah. He may agree. Nah. So to prevent that, they have prohibited. Once a small shareholder director vacates his office or ceases to hold office for 3 years, he cannot be appointed in or associated with the company in any capacity, directly or indirectly, for a period of 3 years. So if this promise is made to that small shareholder director, he'll simply laugh at them and say, I don't think you are aware of section 151. Under 151, after I cease to hold office, I cannot have any relationship with the company for 3 years. So don't waste my time. Please comply with the regulations. Please do not siphon the money. So this is the meaning of this cooling period. Don't call it cooling period. The cooling period is the gap for reappointment. So maybe the word cooling period is confusing. Removed. This is a prohibition for being appointed in the company or being associated with the company for 3 years after he has ceases to hold office. Sir, now is it clear, sir? Panu Behera. So, okay, Panu Behera, if you have understood, confirm that you have understood, I'll feel happy. Okay? Now, moving on. So, we move on to retirement of directors by rotation. Thing is, the purpose is to give the other groups a chance to put their candidate in and allow them to so he might win. So we can't keep on extending. The first directors are the 7 directors. Those, they continue to be in office forever and ever. No, not like that. So they are saying whether you like or not, unless the articles provide for the retirement of all directors at every AGM, which is stupid. No company will provide for that. Am I correct? All directors will retire at every annual general meeting. If the articles provide, that will be there. Unless they provide like that, then not less than 2/3 of the total number of directors of a public company. Friends, I have highlighted the entire phrase, but very, very important is not less than. Not less than 2/3 of the total number of directors of a public company shall be persons whose period of office is liable to determination by retirement of directors by rotation. In simple English, not less than 2/3 of the total number of directors of a public company shall be liable to retire by rotation at every AGM. Okay? And they are liable to retire and will be appointed by the company in general meeting. Now, don't say 1/3 is not liable to retire, because this is not less than. So that may not be exactly 1/3. Therefore, see, this is one section which our MCA Walas have not disturbed. The original elegant language still continues in this section. Thankfully, they have realized that they cannot meddle with this English. So they've kept quiet and just taken it and put it here. So clearly see the wording used here. The remaining directors, in the case of any such company, the remaining directors shall, in default of and subject to any regulations in the articles, also be appointed by the company in general meeting. So the remaining directors, other than this 2/3, whoever are there, they are not liable to retire by rotation, but they shall also be appointed by the company in general meeting, unless there is some other provision in the articles that remaining directors now who are not liable, that the articles can say will be appointed by so and so group, like that or not. But not less than 2/3 are under the control of the shareholders. They are liable to retire by rotation. Okay. Now, at the first annual general meeting of a public company held next after the date of the general meeting at which the first directors are appointed, and at every subsequent AGM, that is, there is one general meeting where the first directors are appointed. Thereafter, every subsequent meeting, annual general meeting, 1/3. Because see, the first meeting when they are appointed, how can they retire? You understand now? So thereafter, they will start retiring by rotation. Okay. So first, there is one meeting where directors are appointed. That meeting, nobody can retire. Thereafter, the next meeting, at every subsequent AGM, 1/3 of such of the directors for the time being as are liable to retire by rotation shall retire from office. So 2/3 are those who are liable to retire. Out of that 2/3, 1/3, not less than 2/3 are liable. Out of that 2/3, 1/3 shall liable. Now, in case you divide the 2/3 number by 3 for calculating 1/3, you might get a fraction. In case the number of directors retire is not 3 or a multiple, then the number nearest to 1/3 shall retire. Be careful. Here it says not less than 2/3. That means 0.33 also will go higher. 0.66 also will go higher. I might have mentioned to you now, whenever they use the word not less than, be careful. The rounding off rule will change. 0.33 will not go this side. 0.33 will go that side. 0.66 will anyway go that side. Are you able to understand? 0.5 will go that side. Whichever it will go that side. But here they are saying, if you divide by 3 and you get a fraction, it is not a multiple by 3, then, you see, when you divide by 3, you might get a whole number, or you might get 0.33, or you might get 0.66. If it is 0.33, you'll go to the lower end. If it is 0.66, you'll go to the other side. Then the number nearest to 1/3 shall retire. Okay. Nearest to 1/3 shall retire. The directors to retire by rotation are those who have been longest in their office. Do you remember in casual vacancy, I said, seniority has to be calculated. For calculating who has been longest in office, for this casual vacancy guy, you will not take his date of appointment. You will take his predecessor's date of appointment to see longest in office. Are you able to understand now? Are you able to link it with casual? Okay. See, suppose this is point A is not clear. No, I'll tell you what, Sriram. You wait. I will be explaining it using a diagram. If still after that you have not understood, we will tell. You tell me, then I will explain again. Now I won't go back. I will simply summarize like this. There is a public company. It has directors. Out of that, calculate not less than 2/3 number. That number is liable to retire by rotation at every AGM. Liable. Total number is liable. They won't all retire. Out of that only. The remaining directors are not liable to retire by rotation. They can be appointed by members, or if the articles provide, by anybody. Out of that 2/3, 1/3 of the directors who are liable shall retire at every AGM. Okay. Now, when I given this example, now you will understand. Till then, hold on. Till then, you hold on. Just 2 minutes, not even 2. Once I finish this slide, we'll go there. Now you will understand. In case of directors who became director on the same day, let's not go here. Let's first finish this. See this diagram. There is something called total strength, right? Just look at the last paragraph. For the purpose of this subsection, total number of directors shall not include independent directors, including small shareholder director, whether appointed under this act or any other law. Got it? So, total number of directors shall not include independent directors. Okay? They may be appointed under this act or under any other law. There may be a provision for independent directors. That also. That's all. Now, total strength. Total strength is other than independent directors. So, while calculating total strength, remove independent directors. Now, we got a number. For that number, calculate 2/3. If it is a fraction, round it off to the higher number. Then take that number. So, total strength minus that number will be remaining directors. Keep these two numbers with you. Now, there an AGM is going to come now. At that AGM, how many will retire? 1/3 of 2/3 will retire. While calculating that 1/3 of 2/3, rounding off will be nearest whole number. 0.33 go back, 0.66 go. So you will have a number of directors who shall retire. Right? Now, how to select who will retire? who have been longest in office shall retire. If two guys retired on the same day, how to decide? Then between them, there should be some agreement. Otherwise, suppose three people are appointed on the same day, how to determine who will retire? Then you guys talk to yourselves and come out. I used to tell it in a very crude way, in my own way, that some of you may not like, but that's the way I will tell. Put all of them in one room. Whoever comes out will not retire. Okay, like that. Something. Okay, that is all not possible. So, in the absence of any such agreement, it shall be determined by lot. Meaning, put their names in, write their name on paper, fold it. Like this you do, throw it, pick up. Whoever two names come first, they will retire. Okay, got it? So now, Mr. Sriram, point here somewhat clear. See, all these calculations will be done only before the AGM. Please, if you get that into your brain now, everything will fall in place. You are the CFO, company secretary of a company. Your AGM is going to happen in September, July, August. Now you are going to have a board meeting for approval of the financial statement, approval of the annual report. It is in this context that you have to understand. So in that annual report, you have to mention directors retiring by rotation, how to decide. So at that point in time, that's why they are using the word for the time being as are liable to retire by rotation. So this is not a it is not a permanent name or number. It is a moving target. So let us say that your board meeting is in June, 15th of June. So on 15th of June, you take out your list of directors. For example, here is a list of directors. Okay. So just to see the rule just to give a calculation, just to give an idea, suppose the total strength is 3, then liable to retire by rotation is 2/3, 2. Remaining not so liable is 1 minus 2, that is 3 minus 2, 1. Shall retire means 1 by 3. Okay. That is 0.66. Remaining not so liable. Okay. That's, you can't have, see, I'm sorry, 2 by 6. 2 by 3. Sorry, I'm so sorry. 2 by 3, 0.666. That is 4 equal to 1/3 of 2. So 2 into 1/3 is 0.6. 0.66 not possible. Round off to 1. No problem. Total strength is 4. Then liable to retire. See, you are doing all this calculation now. Take the total strength. Calculate 2/3. Divide by into 2 by 3. What number do you get? 2.666. No problem. 3. Out of that 1/3, no problem. 1. No issues. Now 5. Divide into 2/3. Gives me 3.333. 3.333 will become 4. Because not less than 2/3. So if you take 3.33 as 3, it will become less than 2/3. Therefore, since the word used is not less than 2/3, you have to go to the higher number, 4. Now, for calculating who shall retire at the coming AGM, divide by 3. 4 into 1/3 gives me 4 by 3 gives me 1.333. Now, 1.333 nearest to 1/3, 1. So I have given you a table here to help you understand. Now I think with this background, you are able to understand it. 4 point, like, then see 7 into 2/3, you get round of 5. 5 into 1/3, 1.66 equal to 2, like that. 10 into 2/3, 6.66 becomes 7. 7 divided by 7 into 1/3, 2.33 becomes 2. So if the total strength is 10 directors, then 7 are liable, 3 are not liable. And out of that 7, 2 shall retire at the next AGM. How to select the 2? Senior most in office. All are appointed on the same day, then agreement or lot. Okay, sir? I have done my best to explain this. So I hope it is clear. Kaushiki says completely clear, but Sriram is still not confirming that he is clear. So with this example, I hope A point has become somewhat clear. Yeah, Sriram, can you confirm this? I would feel happy if you confirm. That's all. If you have, because otherwise I will not know whether I have explained, and I will keep on wasting time explaining, and wasting other people's time. Okay. Otherwise, you have to ask me specific question. You understand? Specifically, like you did in that earlier, thing. Ask me. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now, we come to a practical issue. Here is a list of directors. You will meet the Adekar family in all my problems. Okay, they are a great family. Vijay Adekar is the MD. He has a great story. I don't have the time to tell. Vijay Adekar, he is not a real person. Vijay Adekar is a fictional person, but a great human being. He qualified from IIT. He was working, and then he started his own company, Adekar Industries, which has become a big company now. And so Vijay Adekar is the MD. Mrs. Vimala, his wife, she is also a director, whole-time director. Vikram, their first son. They have one more son, Vimal. Let's not talk about that guy. Okay. So Vikram Adekar is the first son. He is also a whole-time director. Fantastic family-run business, has now become professionally run business. So once it went into listing and all that, they appointed non-executive directors. Mr. Palekar, Narekar, Shinde, Srinivasan, Malati Jayaraman. Obviously, these are highly intellectual people who have some knowledge or something they will add. Then there was a gentleman, Mr. Vagmare. See, Vagmare was appointed on 31/12/2019. In the casual vacancy created in the post of another Mr. Balekar, who was appointed on 30/9/2017. See, Balekar ji was appointed on 30/9/2017. Might have vacated. Let us assume that he has resigned or blah, whatever it is. So in his place, we appointed Vagmare ji on 31/12/2019. Right? In addition to this, remember, Balekar, Narekar group are not independent. They are non-executive, but not independent. Maybe they are having other consulting work also with the company, whatever it is. In addition to this, the company also has 5 independent directors, all appointed on 39. As if this is not enough, there is a Mr. Narsimhan, who is a director representing the small shareholders. Kamilan is also there. Mr. Narsimhan is also sitting. He is a director representing the small shareholders. Sorry for giving all animals on what to do. If you don't like that, I think I should have become a veterinary surgeon, not a chartered accountant. What to do? So, Mr. Narsimhan is also a director representing the small shareholders. Okay? Now, question. How many directors are liable to retire? How many directors are liable to retire? This is a number. How many shall retire at next AGM? This is a number. Who shall retire? These are names. That is all. If you give this, you'll get full marks. Question is how many? In fact, this will be a classic MCQ case study type, where how many directors are able? 4 choices can be given. How many shall retire? 4 choices will be given. Who shall retire? 4 choices with two different names will be given. You have to select correctly. But actually, the last one is a little tricky because there may be options. There may not be one single answer for the last one, but let us see. How many? If you are answering it, I have communicated the section correctly to you. Otherwise, I have to teach again. How many directors are? For that, first what you should find out? You have to find out total strength. For calculating total strength, should I include independent director? No. Small shareholder director? No. Why? Because he is also independent. So that leaves me with how many people? Vijay, Vimala, Vikram, 3. Palekar, Narekar, Shinde, Srinivasan, Malati, Vagmare, 6. 6 plus 3, 9. 9 is the total strength. 9 is the total strength. Independent directors and small shareholders director are not liable to retire by rotation. So not included in total strength. Okay. Total 9. Beautiful. Beautiful. Liable to retire. See, if you use this diagram, it will be easy. Not less than, first you calculate not less than 2/3. So, see, you know I'm very weak in arithmetic. So I will give only round number. So 9, 6. See, the remaining, here it so happens the remaining is also 1/3. It's by chance. It may not be always there. Not the remaining. For example, sometimes the remaining may be less than 1/3. So don't think it's always 1/3. So never say there 1/3. You don't say 1/3. Remaining directors. That is total strength minus liable remaining. These remaining directors, your discretion. You can do whatever you want. They are not liable to retire by rotation. Now, 1/3 of those liable to retire by rotation. So that will be 1/3 of 6, which is 2. So we have to select 2 people. You have to select 2 people. Now, who will retire? So, who will retire? Now, that number you have to tell me. So, this 9 is these guys. Out of that, 6 are liable. Out of that, 2 will. So, that the next AGM, ensuing AGM, 2 people are going to retire. Who are they? Suspense. You have a rule for that also. What is the rule? Senior most first. First in, first out. Now, first of all, before we do anything, let us protect our own ass. How? Don't put Vijay Adekar in retirement list. Don't put Vimala Adekar in retirement list. Don't put Vikram, because they are the owners. Yeah, you are the CFO. They are paying the salary. Okay. Don't go to Mrs. Vimala Adekar and say, Madam, you will be retiring by rotation in the next AGM. She will tell, sir, no problem. You will be resigning tomorrow, like that. Okay. So don't play that game with your own boss. Okay. So 3, not so liable category, push Vijay, Vimala and Vikram. Over. The remaining 6, who are they? Palekar, Narekar, Shinde, Srinivasan, Malati, Jayaraman, Vagmare. Now, out of these 6, you select 2 to retire by rotation. Correct. You are highly intelligent, Ms. Kaushiki. You go to Mr. Vijay and don't even tell Mr. Vijay Adekar all this and confuse him. You tell him, sir, some retirement or rotation. Because Palekar, Narekar and all are already professionals. They will understand. So you tell, now decide who is going to retire. Now you have to tell me. So who is senior most? Palekar and Narekar. Because 18. Shinde, Srinivasan and Malati, 19. So they are out. But look at Vagmare. Now, Vagmare was appointed in 19. But in the place of Balekar, who was appointed in 17. So Balekar is the senior most. And Vagmare is representing him as casual vacancy appointee. So Vagmare goes on top. So Vagmare is senior most. Wow, Kaushik, you are really great. That's why I said, here there is no straight answer. It is either Vagmare, we need 2. So it's Vagmare, sure. Then Palekar or Narekar. Both are appointed on the same day. So you talk to Palekar and say, Palekar ji, just I'll put your name, sir. You will be reappointed, don't worry. Palekar agrees, okay. Or else Narekar. Both of them don't agree, then lot. That's all. You have solutions. Okay. Agreement. If no agreement, then lot. That's all. Okay. So Vagmare plus Palekar or Narekar, depending on. So definitely Vagmare is out. We need one more candidate for retirement. No, but again understand, all this is sirf formality. Sirf formality. In reality, they will be automatically at that meeting. It will be in the agenda. Retirement. You remember from your intermediate syllabus, do you remember ordinary business? Do you remember ordinary business? Appointment of directors in the place of those retiring. This is that. Okay. That is an ordinary business if done at an AGM. So at the AGM, the item of agenda will come. Appointment of directors in the place of those retiring, Mr. Vagmare and Mr. Pale. Again, remember, Vagmare is a casual vacancy guy. Okay. So he can be reappointed by the members. So Mr. Vagmare, who was appointed in the casual vacancy of Mr. Palekar, who was appointed on 13 and 2017, and Mr. Palekar or Narekar, as the case may be, will be retiring at the ensuing AGM. Both of them having served the board well. The board is recommending that they may be reappointed. That's all. So at the AGM, they'll take it up. Somebody will propose, I propose that Mr. Vagmare be appointed. I'm telling you very carefully. Both cannot be put on the same resolution. We'll see why later. Okay. So I propose that Palekar be appointed. Then I propose that Vagmare be appointed. So both the resolutions are passed. They'll be reappointed. That's all. It's a painless process. Okay. It's sirf procedure. But the idea is to give an opportunity for proposing another candidate. A person you can propose. You can propose a person other than the retiring director. Is there any, sir, Company Act cannot distinguish for Vijay Adekar? How things happen? Madam, welcome to my world. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. Sorry, today is becoming only animal category. Anyway, the dialogue I gave, this quotation I gave is from a famous book by a famous man called George Orwell. It's called Animal Farm. In Animal Farm, socialism sounds nice on paper and when you're talking in the mic, but in reality, Company Act can't distinguish. They have not distinguished. The law is very clearly saying 1/3 it's your choice. Not less than not less than two-thirds. But see, madam, if you don't give like this, then capitalism will not be there. Okay? It's not possible. That's why I said all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. Suppose you are employed in Reliance Industries. You have the guts to tell this to Anand Ambani? Huh? You have the guts to tell this in Dhirubhaiji's time. Can you tell this to Anil Ambani? Now you understand where I'm coming from. I mean, nothing wrong, boss. Hey, come on. These guys are taking risk, yeah. They are the owners, Baba. For them only, we are all coming and sitting. If Vijay is not there, no Adekar Industries. Are you able to understand what I'm saying? So that I will distinguish. I will make Vijay important. Why not? Okay. This is my view, not the view of the Institute of Adjourned. I am a free market capitalist. I am a pure capitalist. I mean, versus a pure communist who follows Karl Marx and Engels, I am a pure capitalist. Adam Smith and Ayn Rand, pure capitalist. So without Vijay Adekar, where is Adekar Industries? So I have no fight with the Companies Act on this matter. Is there any exemption for promoting director like Vijay Adekar? Nothing. See, even though I'm telling you, you want to put Vijay Adekar or Vima, why Vijay? Oh, you are going directly to Vijay. I thought at least you will target Vikram being a son. You are going directly to Vijay. Wow. Madam, please remember Kaushiki ji, be calm and you are employed by Vijay, boss. You are interviewed by that guy. See, you are the CFO, his right hand. See, understand the realities of corporate existence. Many of you are going to be employed in these corporates. Many of you are going to be employed by companies like Adekar Industries Limited. That is your goal in completing this course. Huh? So wake up, grow up, become real, get into reality. Okay? Sorry, if I'm exceeding my limit in telling you, but I know you're clear. Now you got it? So when, in fact, for most of my clients, I sit with the company secretary and CFO and we decide who will go. That time we'll see, you mean to say we have the guts to put MD there or MD's wife or MD's son? Tell me, madam. Okay. Anyway, sorry, this is a reality check for all of us. And no shame in that. Boss, guy built it from scratch. He pays the salary to all of us. No way. No way. He can't be treated at par with everybody. Sorry. Good. Now, this even who is the person to object? Palekar, Narekar, Shinde, they themselves will agree. Vijay ji no, Vimala ji no, Vikram ji no. Now between us, we will see who will go. I can tell you, sirf formality hai. They will be again reappointed. Okay, only when there is a fight between two groups, this will become very tight. There we will see what happens. Okay, deemed reappointment. Earlier, this was called automatic reappointment. Now, somehow the ministry feels automatic is not a good word. So they use the word deemed reappointment. Though in my humble view, automatic is correct. Because deeming provision means fiction, legal fiction. Whereas here it is automatic reappointment. He will be reappointed automatically. Anyway, still if the ministry feels deemed is a better word, we will use deemed. Okay. But sometimes, by habit, I might say automatic. Maaf kar dijiye. Whenever I say automatic, it shall be deemed to be that I said deemed. Whenever I use the word automatic reappointment, it shall be deemed that I use the word deemed. Okay? Right. Now, so we have come up to retirement. Now these guys are retiring. Who are retiring? Wagmare and Palekar, for example. So, now, at the AGM, I gave one example. What did I say? At the AGM, somebody proposes. Wagmare ji will be reappointed, appointed. Palekar ji will be reappointed, seconded, passed, cleared. This is a great approach, no problem. But suppose if the vacancy is not so filled up, meaning once they retire, there will be a vacancy. Once they retire, there will be a vacancy. Vacancy created by retirement by rotation may be filled at the same AGM. I can either fill with the same two people, which is the 95%, 99%, it will be straight away routine matter. We won't even pause to take a breath. Accounts will be adopted, then straight away director jig will go. Within 5 minutes, we can finish the AGM agenda. Okay? But suppose if the vacancy is not so filled up, either by these people or by somebody else, and the meeting has not expressly resolved not to fill the vacancy. See what happened? Now forget Adekar Industries. Adekar Industry is a professionally managed company, high degree of corporate governance, as you can see, independent directors, compliant, etc., etc. Let's not go there. Let's go to some other company. There's a company called Dubakur Limited. Now, Dubakur Limited, directors are retiring by rotation. There are 10 people, let us say, out of that 10, blah, blah, 2 fellows are coming. They are retiring by rotation. Now, both of them, Dubakur Limited director, how he will be, you think? Okay, he will be a fellow of unsound fellow. So the members feel we should not reappoint them. Also, they are saying, hey, you already got 8 guys here. There is no need to fill this vacancy here. So they expressly resolve that the vacancy shall not be filled up. In which case, there is no question of deemed reappointment. But suppose at the AGM, the vacancy is not so filled up and the meeting has not expressly resolved not to fill the vacancy. That means what? It is open. The vacancy is open. Are you able to understand? Vacancy is not, either appointment is not there. Also, they are saying we are not appointing. So the meeting shall stand adjourned. The word stand is very important. This is a statutory adjournment. When you studied management administration, the faculty might have told there are many cases of statutory adjournment. In final also, you will find when you come to directors, automatic reappointment, deemed reappointment, you will have stand. So that meeting shall stand adjourned by law, by operation of law, to the next week, same place, same time. And if that day is a national holiday, to the next succeeding day, which is not a holiday. Not a problem. Now, so if at the adjourned meeting also, the vacancy is not so filled up and the meeting has not expressly resolved not to fill the vacancy, then the retiring director shall be deemed to have been reappointed at the adjourned meeting. Means when a vacancy is not filled up and there is no express resolution not to fill the vacancy, meeting shall adjourn. At the adjourned meeting also not filled up, no express resolution, then the retiring director will be deemed to have been reappointed. This is called a deemed reappointment. Idea is because what will happen otherwise, suppose a company does not hold AGM for 3 years continuously. 2/3 of them will go. They will go away. So who will be liable for the offense of not holding AGM and all? That is why they say you guys will get reappointed. You sit. We will catch you and we will. You cannot say, when the AGM was held, I retired by rotation, I'm gone. No. You did not hold the meeting. Then what happened? That vacancy was not filled up. No express resolution. Meeting would have stood adjourned. That adjourned meeting also, no reappointment, etc. So you are deemed to have been reappointed. Please come and pay the penalty. So the purpose of a deemed reappointment is not to give benefit to these guys, but to catch them and keep them here and make them legally liable for any offenses committed by the company. If you understand it that way, you will understand deeming better. Okay. Suppose you still have some difficulty in getting hold of this handle on this deemed reappointment. Let me try in another way. For this, you have to bear with me. Again, very, very casually, I'm going to talk. Please. All of you studied in college, maybe co-education college. So Mr. X is a nice young gentleman. He meets a girl in the college. He falls in love with her. So, but he doesn't know whether she is in love with him. So what he does, he goes to her one day in the college, she's standing under a tree. This guy also goes there, beautiful campus. He stands under the tree and he asks her, do you love me? I love you. Do you love me? She says, she does say nothing. She does not say anything. She keeps quiet. She keeps looking down at the floor, at the ground, rubs her toe, smiles, keeps looking down, nothing. So what this fellow will tell, what this fellow will think, says, okay, I will come next week, same time, same place, same tree. Let us see. He goes on. Next week, same time, same tree. Okay. She also comes. He also comes. Again, he asks her, do you love me? What this girl does? Nothing. She keeps looking at the ground. Says nothing. Has she told that she does not love him? She has not said that she does not love him. Therefore, she loves him. Normally, negative cannot be, silence cannot amount to acceptance in contract law. But in company law, yes. See, the meeting has not expressed will not fill the vacancy. She has not told that she does not love you. Therefore, she loves you. Okay, suppose in the first instance, under the tree, Mr. X comes to her and says, do you love me? I mean, like that. She immediately says, bye. In Tamil, we say, Anna. That means what? Vacancy already filled up. Now you cannot claim deemed reappointment, etc. Vacancy already filled up. So you cannot claim. Are you able to understand what I'm saying? So just giving this example as a easy way of understanding, not to be taken seriously, not to be, I mean, don't try this stunt in real life and all that. Okay. Just for your fun. Don't take it very, because I'm very worried about you, the young generation of students. In those days, in 2000 and all, even when I was, when Sudhirji would have attended, or even before that, 90s and all, the students used to laugh like anything in the class when I used to give this type of jokes. But now I think students are becoming very serious. Good. Chalo, so you have deemed, see, they might ask you in the exam. Okay. Whereas 161, additional, alternate, casual, very important. They keep repeating it in the exam. Whereas here, not that much. Okay. Now, automatic reappointment shall, I'm using the word automatic. I'm so sorry. See, this is the problem of being Buddha. Because, sorry. Unlearning is very, very difficult for old people like me. Sudhir says nostalgia, yeah. Deemed reappointment shall not take place in the following cases. Okay. One is easy. If at that meeting or at a previous meeting, a resolution for reappointing has been put to vote and defeated. I will go back to my earlier example. Mr. X tells, I love you. What does the girl do? She does not look at the ground. She looks at the ground, picks up the slipper and shows it. What does that mean? Appointment has been put to vote and defeated. Okay, better you go. Okay, is the point. Okay, that is one example. If the retiring director has expressed his unwillingness, he says, I don't want to be reappointed by. If he is not qualified or is disqualified, so on the date of AGM, he is not qualified, yeah. So how he can claim deemed reappointment? Not possible. If a resolution, whether special or ordinary, is required, for example, in the articles, normally they will not provide. Normally, articles will not provide resolution for appointing ordinary directors. But suppose some articles are saying appointment of director shall be done only by passing special resolution or ordinary resolution. Then, where a resolution is to be passed, deeming cannot operate. Resolution is a conscious act. Okay, so when the articles require a resolution, deeming cannot be done. Therefore, where a resolution is required for his appointment, then automatic not possible. Deemed not possible. Now we come to the fifth one. Section 162 is applicable to the case. We saw 4, na? 5. Section 162 is applicable to the case. My God, what do you mean, yeah? What is this section 162? Why it is applicable? See, Companies Act can be very, very irritating. A student who is not guided through the law by either a good textbook or by some such guided, here only they'll find it difficult. Say he will see what is this 162. Then I have to go searching for 162. But now I'm giving you 162 now only. What is 162? To understand the next point, which is once applicable to the case, you should first understand 162. So it is my unfortunate or fortunate duty to teach you 162. Now, what does 162 say? At a general meeting of a company, a motion for the appointment of 2 or more persons as director shall not be made by a single resolution. Do you remember when Wagmare and Palekar matter came up? How did I mention it? Did I say proposal? I propose that Wagmare and Palekar be appointed as directors. No. Single resolution not possible. First Wagmare appointed, then Palekar appointed. So 2 or more directors shall not be proposed on a single resolution. This is to prevent the election of an unpopular candidate by tying him with a popular candidate. Suppose in Dubakur Limited, somehow one good fellow is there, Mr. A. Along with him, one rogue is also getting in X. Everybody knows X is a rogue. Everybody knows A is a good man. We want A to be there, but we don't want X. But what they do, they tie up. They propose A and X together. No, I'm a shareholder. I'm not educated. I don't understand all these things. I want A. So what I do? Reluctantly, I vote for X also. Though I know he is bad because I want A. So this is called tying. So the law, so this is not possible to prevent it. In order to prevent this, Section 162 says, you cannot propose a resolution or motion for the appointment of 2 or more persons. See, anything that is moved at a meeting is called a motion again. Once the motion is proposed, seconded and passed, it becomes a resolution again. Are you able to understand what I'm saying? This is strictly speaking. You can use the word motion and resolution synonymously. But if you're being very puristic, you will say, a motion is proposed, seconded, put it to vote, passed. Once passed, it becomes a resolution. Are you able to understand? So, appointment of more than 2 or more directors shall not be done on a single resolution. Right? But suppose we are having 5 directors. We want to appoint all of them. We are in a hurry and all are well-known people. No dispute. So what we'll say, okay, we'll put all these fellows in one resolution. But before doing that, you must first have a procedural motion. Somebody should stand up and say, Mr. Chairman, we are all in a hurry to go. I propose that all these 5 gentlemen or lady and gentlemen will be proposed and voted on a single resolution. So the chairman of the meeting will say, ladies and gentlemen, you heard the proposal that all these people be put on a single resolution. All those in favor? No. Normally he will ask those in favor. Here what you should ask, anybody to the contra, anybody against, even if one hand is raised, then you have to appoint all of them separately. But suppose no vote is given against it, then unanimous. Automatically, you can appoint more than 2 or more people on a single resolution. So, normally, appointment of more than 2 people on a single resolution, not possible. But if a procedural motion is moved and it is voted without a single vote being given against it, then for ease of convenience, you can go for more than 2. Now, suppose a resolution is moved in contravention of this provision, the resolution shall be void. Whether or not objection is taken at the time to its being so moved. See, as I told you, everybody attending the meeting of a company may not be highly intelligent and qualified like you. There may be uneducated people like me, village guys who come there and said, we have got money, we invested, but we don't know company law, section 162, 152. What is this? Yeah, I don't know anything. So I come, I'm not aware. Yeah. So this fellow proposed, I know that fellow is bad. I voted. I not object. Even then, the resolution is void. The board of directors cannot say, hey, you guys did not object at that time. Even if no objection was taken, a resolution moved in contravention of this provision shall be void. Hence, 2 or more directors cannot be elected as directors by a single resolution unless it is done in conformity with 162, meaning procedural motion, no vote being cast against, then you do it. Okay. Now, so point is, here, when you appoint 2 or more person in a single resolution, in contravention of section 162, such a resolution is void. Are you clear? Hold on to that thought. That's all. Here is a resolution for appointing more than 2 persons under a single resolution shall be, without complying with section 162, shall be void. Okay. If such a violation is there, then a motion for approving a person for appointment or nominating a person for appointment as a director shall be treated as a motion for his appointment. Okay, that is okay. So where a resolution is passed in contravention of section 162, it is void. Now, let us come to the point. Where a resolution appointing a person as a director is in contravention of section 162 is passed, then it shall be void. Let us take a simple example. There are 2 people. One guy is a popular guy, Mr. A. Other guy is retiring by rotation. Other guy is retiring by rotation. B, he is unpopular. What they are doing? they are combining popular A and retiring by rotation unpopular B. Popular A not retiring by rotation, they want him, and B retiring by rotation unpopular. They combine him. Shareholders, no, without even objecting, they pass. But still, the resolution has been passed in contravention of section 162. What can you say about the appointments? Both the appointments are void. A is void, B is also void. Now, B is the retiring director. So he can argue now, hey, did you not appoint me? Yes. Did you appoint somebody else? No. Did you pass a resolution expressly that vacancy shall not be filled up? No. So in every way, I'm complying with deemed appointment. So I'm entitled for deemed appointment. If he says that, the law says, fifth point says, where section 162 is applicable, deemed reappointment is not possible. That's all. Appointment which is void would create a vacancy. Such a vacancy cannot be filled by invoking the provisions of automatic reappointment. Got it? So this is the convoluted, I know it's very, very convoluted and confusing, but the idea is to prevent tying up. So automatic reappointment provision cannot be invoked for deemed reappointment provision cannot be invoked where there is a violation of section 162. Two or more directors are appointed a single resolution in violation of section 162. Deemed reappointment is not possible. Okay. Now, there is one case law. This is nothing to do with section. Section over 5 points are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 exceptions have been given. There is a sixth exception, which is case law based. See, if you remember, when quorum is not present within half an hour, the meeting shall stand adjourned to the same time, day, place, etc. Blah blah. At the adjourned meeting also, if quorum is not present, members present shall form a valid quorum. This you know. Now, suppose the retiring director is retiring at the AGM, he cannot claim automatic reappointment based on this. Why? Because the original meeting did not have a quorum. Baba. See, the original meeting was not a meeting where he could have been appointed. Section 152(7) contemplates an original valid meeting. Quorum is present. The other businesses have been transacted. Only you have not provided for these guys reappointment. So the meeting has not explicitly not to fill the vacancy. Then only that adjournment will happen. So where the meeting is adjourned for reason other than this, for want of quorum, etc., automatic reappointment, deemed reappointment cannot be claimed. This was decided in this case law, Cardamom Marketing Travancore Limited versus N. Krishna here. Okay. For the purpose of section 152, the word retiring director means a director retiring by rotation. Please note, additional director is not a retiring director. Therefore, additional director cannot claim deemed reappointment, etc. Okay. Only those directors who are liable, out of that 1/3 are retiring directors, retiring by rotation. Only that guy is entitled to deemed reappointment. Okay. So we come to appointment of directors by tribunal, which is directors may be appointed by the tribunal where an application has been made to it under section 241 for the prevention of oppression and mismanagement. That's why I told you now, appointment of directors by tribunal means the company has been mismanaged. Members have applied to the tribunal. You will be seeing it. It will be, I hope, my pleasure to teach you that. That's what it's been scheduled. It will be my pleasure to teach you section 241, 242 and all that. So where application has been made under section 241 for mismanagement or oppression, the tribunal will be hearing the case. One of the powers of the tribunal under 242, 2K is to appoint people as directors who may be required by the tribunal to report to the tribunal. See, the thing is, tribunal has to bring to an end to the oppression and mismanagement. There is a two groups are there, they are fighting. So what the tribunal will say, wait, we will appoint retired civil servant, senior chartered accountant as directors to represent us. So they will attend board meeting and see what you guys are doing and report back to us. So these are directors appointed under 242 2K by the tribunal. Such directors cannot be removed by the members under section 169. Of course, they cannot be included for retirement by rotation. No, no way. Don't even go that side. They are appointed by tribunal. So they are totally, they cannot touch them. Members cannot even remove them. The directors cannot be removed by members. Forget retirement by rotation. So if you have such directors in your board for retirement rotation, definitely they won't be included in the total strength. Okay. So we move on to another topic which is called DIN. Okay. Why I kept it here? Because it is very, very boring. Boring. Okay. But we will see. Quickly, I'll try to rush through DIN. Not today. If possible, I'll begin it today. Then, Friday, I will finish. And then we'll finish the topic on Friday, inshallah. So, do you have any doubts up to here? Quickly, because it's almost going to be 9 o'clock. So, any questions? Unless you have gone to sleep, then wake up and you can ask any question. Okay, confirm that you are all there. Just put something. Okay, moving on to DIN. See, what I'm asking is, once I get into the next topic, don't put a question there. Now you ask, I will answer and proceed to the next topic. So we have to complete DIN, then you have to go to disqualification, vacation, removal, blah, blah, resignation, blah, all that. Okay, thank you, madam, for that. But class not over, ma. Just hold on a little. Okay. DIN means director identification number. Every person who intends to be appointed as a director or any existing director should get a DIN. Okay. If you have already got a DIN under the prior law, that will be DIN for the purpose of this. Okay. DIN includes DPIN, designated partnership for LLP. Okay. That is also included under the DIN. Every individual intending to be appointed as a director of a company shall make an application for allotment of DIN. Central government may prescribe an identification number, which shall be DIN. And in case he is holding that, it can be taken. All DINs allotted before the commencement shall be deemed to have been allotted them, because DIN was there before 2013. DIN, but total flop and failure. The early DINs were all failure DINs. Then there were 3 or 4 versions. But the DIN that they now use is Pakka. So it is given. They have digital signature also, which is attached. You can sign it digitally, upload all the forms and all using digital signature certificates and all that. Chalo. So I am sure I cannot complete this topic today. Therefore, we have come to a logical point. Let me stop here and pray to God that I can complete tomorrow the entire topic, balanced topic, now on Friday. On Thursday. On Thursday. So in the meantime, wishing you all a great evening ahead and bye. Okay. Good night.